Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to... That was difficult execution there. To Commie Nothing. This is not community games. This is commie games now, and we have another crazy Age of Empires 2 map. So, just gonna put this out there. This is ridiculous, okay? Please, don't take it too seriously. Let's just sit back, relax, and have some fun. This is Commie Games Nothing, a parody of communism. The content might not be considered politically correct. However, it is not the aim of this map script to insult.
Celebrating my
Have fun on this 8-player map.
3,000 hours now in a 2. No longer do I choose my 7 less. I feel like pubs.
Time Traveler.
My best friend. Let's go. T90.
I had that whole intro planned out, Time Traveler. Come on, man. Have fun on this 8-player map where there are plenty of job opportunities and gold is only available from a steady income. Alright, so as you can see, this is pretty ridiculous. Time Traveler, thank you for the 6 months, man. I'll catch up with you guys here in a second. This is... When I saw this screenshot, I lost my mind. When I saw this screenshot, I lost my mind. I was just explaining to those here on Twitch that I have abbreviated community games as commie games, and not trying to reference communism, but just I called them that for a while, and then someone created a commie games map, which is funny. We have 8 players. I'm going to introduce those 8 players. In the orange, we have Sally. Sally's playing as the Vietnamese. In the purple, we have Vietnamese for Ariane. Sally and Ariane, they are the Legend of Texas right here, and they're buddy-buddy right next to one another, so that'll be something to focus on. In the blue, we have Wild Beast. Wild Beast is playing as the Teutons. In the teal, we have Slavs for Infoboat. In the yellow, we have Shocker playing as the Chinese. In the gray, we have Wasted Talent NL is playing as the Slavs. In the red, we have Slavs for Kumar. And then in the green, we have Slavs for Feglord. So obviously, a lot of people have chosen Slavs because I think it's a stronger civ. There was a restricted civ pool for this because it's commie games, right? So the map is very different. The farms are there when the game begins. Also, if you noticed it, the villagers just immediately died when the game started. You actually started with 0 resources, and you then had to choose where to send your initial villagers. So we can see Sally has sent villagers to farms, some villagers to stone. There's also lumber camps around, so if you want to chop wood, that option is there. And so this is all about adjusting and finding a new build order for this map. The center is filled with bears. Oh. That's Sally's king. Sally has his king in the center. That's going to be a problem. Also, so does Kumar. Hopefully they realize that. There's bears protecting all this stone because, you know, it's Commie Nothing, right? Yeah, I know. That's a lot of bears. Yeah, it's not going to be great if you stay out here. Yeah, you should leave. It is regicide. Players should be aware of that. And okay, now Kumar is moving his kings and whatnot, which is great. The kings all started in the center. I think if you look at the other players' point of views, yes. They sent their kings from the center back to their base. Grim says, T90 official. Grim, wait, he says, Ville's only 25 food if I'm correct. Create faster and gather slower. Let me read this. I apologize to those who are watching this video and stream that I have to tab out real quick and you don't have audio. But there's a lot of data that I need to read. In fact, I can't even afford to read all of it. But I'll do my best here, okay? So, equal bases surrounding the hammer and sickle logo. Villagers are cheaper and create faster, leading to a larger amount of workers. For balance, their work rate has been reduced. There's enough jobs for everyone. All gold income comes from the resource trickle. Oh, so there's no gold. It's a trickle. I see that. Okay. Spend stone to build workshops to increase your gold income. There's a limited amount of stone on the map, so fight to control these piles for resources. Stone costs of all the other buildings and techs have been replaced by gold cost by making stone only useful for buildings and more workshops. Holy crap. Holy crap. This is different, more different than I thought. You always start with the king that needs to survive, and he is called the Robin Hood. I saw that. Guys, why don't we just do it this way real quick? This is probably the best way so you guys can get the information here. Check this out. So you're going to have to read along with me for all this, because that was just the short version. This is the long version now. At the very start, some villagers might die of hunger. Villagers are twice as cheap. Villagers create 2 times faster. Villagers gather resources slower. Start with resources in the... Wait, are these different versions of it? Of the explanation? Like, that's a lot here. I'll post this in the Twitch chat for those that might want to read it. The funny one is market is disabled. Vittoria is disabled. Forced cartography. Share your vision. Or no carto at all when playing on low resources. Let me see what they have here exactly. Like, honestly, the problem... It's very realistic, but I think the problem is it can be complicated for the players to figure it out, so we might need to do this a few times before we get like a real expert meta. But yes, Hank to Super Nerd made this. Let's throw some salutes in the chat for him. The salute might be kind of fitting to Commie Nothing as well, but thank you, Hank, for putting so much effort into the details on this. I actually want to message... What do you guys think about me messaging the host of this game quickly and saying, hey, players can pause and read everything, because I had actually told them to only read the short version, and I think the long version is probably necessary for them to read.
What the flipping Jeff was that last game? Too bad I couldn't snipe some militia.
Alright, I'm gonna message the host. So I said, Sally, see if you can pause this here, and I'll give these guys a minute or two to reread the settings. We'll still have the game up, of course, but I think that might be helpful. If he doesn't respond, I'll find someone else. Yeah, it seems like he realizes. Well, hey, Drunk Goat, I'm going to make sure they read it, because we're going to have plenty of time here today. It's probably the safer option. Let me also post it in the game room. And hopefully they'll see it. Cool. This will give us time to think about this. It's very, very Commie Nothing like, right? So no markets. In this case, there's no cartography then, right? So you can never get carto, regardless of if you're allied with someone or not. Fun, fun, fun. Please post the map data to the YouTube description too, please. Yes, I will. And YouTube, if I don't, then just say something about it. I also posted it in the Twitch chat if you guys would like to read it yourself. You can also download the map there. And I'm telling Sally that the players have to go back to the game room and take a glimpse of that link if they need it. So this is pretty crazy. No gold, huh? Like, that's why I wanted them to know exactly what's going on here, because they have to know to make workshops to get gold. And stone then becomes so much more important. Do Spanish get the Viltech? They might. I'm not sure. Sally's not saying anything to me now, so I assume everyone's reading up. This is probably going to make the game the best as possible. Before this, I played the whole Russian national anthem, and I just didn't have time, you know, when setting up the games to wait to read that whole page, but now I realize how essential it is. Stop it, stupid. About 20 messages up from your comment, I linked it. I'm sure someone else can link it for you. What should they be reading? They should be reading everything about the stone. So they should be reading this right here. How they can get gold. There's tips and strategies. I should probably be reading this as well. But I think just as a refresher here, you have to build workshops, correct? The unit is your king, blah, blah, blah. All players have the ability to build trade workshops that generate gold over time. 0 trade workshops, you earn 1 gold a second each. Trade workshop... Oh, that's not a 0, my bad. I was going to say that didn't make sense. Trade workshops cost 800 stone. Trade workshops have 1,000 hit points. Trade workshops do not count as a building as a requirement for advancing to the castle age. So it's a feudal age building, I guess. Okay. Oh my god, that chat was pretty vicious. And I'm just saying, Sally, you can restart whenever, and they've restarted. Cool. So that's essentially it. The trade workshop is actually a different building. It's not a siege workshop. Not a siege workshop. So if vills are cheaper, that's helpful, but they're also less effective, right? You don't have golds, and I will keep looking around the bases to see if trade workshops are built and how much gold they're bringing in.
Hi T90. How can a YouTube fan subscribe? They ask for a code I never have. Frown anyway. I'm damn happy to see community night on Friday. I can finally see the fun live and even dream to participate.
Barbecue
Amused.
Python. Thank you, man. Thank you for the $5. So if you'd like to subscribe on Twitch, you just have to click the subscribe button. It's literally right above the video feed. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it with Twitch at twitchprime.com, and you get one free sub to a streamer a month. Once that's linked with your Amazon account, you can just click the little subscribe button and subscribe for free. So you have a paid option and a free option if you have what's necessary. Hope that helps. Not sure what you mean by they want a code you never have. Maybe the way that you pay for it they don't allow. I'm not sure, but they should be able to. I'd be glad to try and help you out when I'm not streaming. You could post the issue in Discord. I'm sure people can help you there. Brother from Home Alone, thank you for the $5 donation. Is that actually the guy we hosted last night? Not sure, man, but thank you for the 5. Thank you, Zigzagger, for the 2-month resub. Good to have you back. Time Traveler subbed at the beginning of this game. Thank you for the 6 months, man. He said he's celebrating his honeymoon with his T90 babe and over 3,000 hours now in AoE 2. No longer do I choose my civ until I feel like pub stomping with my best friend. Let's go, T90 Ride. Thank you for the... Well, congrats on your honeymoon, man. I hope you have a good time. And if you're on your honeymoon right now and she's letting you watch, she's a keeper, man. Wouldn't that be awkward if they're actually, like, watching and she's been upset about this whole thing and he's like, we're married now. We're married now. I love you. I just want to watch T90. And then their whole marriage fell apart over the argument on the stream. No, that wouldn't be funny. That'd be bad. That would be bad.
I just sent the GF out of the country and spent $3,200 on a new computer, so I am ready for you to T90 rigged me into the next commie game. JK. But thrilled to finally do that. Play for the next game.
Wait, you sent your girlfriend out of the country? Is she cool with that? Were you just like, yeah, babe, I want a break. We're on a break. Boom. Put her on a plane to wherever? I mean, we are casting commie games, so maybe that's acceptable in Russia. I don't know. But you deported your girlfriend. Well, that's lovely, man. Thank you for the $6. If you did get a new PC, congrats on that, and I'll try and get you into the next game. Just don't tell people, I might rig you. So, Shocker is getting wrecked. Shocker is getting wrecked. He's trying to get the stone. We have bears now attacking. Sally says T90 bear. So, this is just an awkward start. This is going to be awkward the whole way through. That's probably how life is in Russia. I'm not sure. Again, this is not meant to offend anybody. We're just having some fun. Obviously, there are lines that you should never cross. I agree, but I think that this is fine. Sally says, man, loom is expensive. Ah, so the cost of loom might be more expensive. And you know, these farms, they're in really exposed locations. Shocker's got to be real pissed off here. He's lost a lot of his workers to the scouts from Wasted Talent. Now, I should say that Koreans was a civilization that was allowed to be picked. It's just that the players did not choose Koreans. So, I'm a bit disappointed no one chose Koreans here. The civs that Hank wanted people to choose was Teutons, Slavs, Mongols, Chinese, Khmer, Vietnamese, and Koreans. But we didn't get to see the Koreans pick, unfortunately. The Wasted Talent, as Trirem says, is the true Russian here, and he's killing all of these vills, man. And his economy is actually pretty decent. It's pretty decent. There's a trade workshop, a gold workshop for him, I guess. And so he's getting a bit more gold. Remember, this costs 1,000 stone. Might even be worth it to start buying stone with whatever gold you get. And now we have a TC from Infoboat in the center. So this has been pretty wild, kind of hard to follow. But the gist is you want the stone so you can build the gold workshops. And once you build the gold workshops, then you're actually getting some gold income, because otherwise you're in trouble. You also can't build markets, you can't trade. This is diplomacy. So I don't know how Ariane and Sally are going to do this, because they're unable to trade with each other. These scouts from Ariane are killing a ton of blue villagers. A wild beast is probably not happy about this either. So, a few players have gone for the scout strategy. I think it's a good strat. I think it's a great strat, actually. Sally says, so how's life? Infoboat says, lovely. Well, it is lovely for him, because he has control of the center. Oh! So, Sally's having a conversation with Infoboat, and Infoboat's scouts are getting walled in. That's hilarious. Sally says, how's life? And Infoboat says, wonderful. I don't think he realizes his scouts have just been walled in there. That's funny. Sally says, I'm only a mere factory worker. Oh, what job are you getting? I'm only a mere factory worker, yeah. A wild beast wants some help. Well, you're in Commie Nothing, man. It's going to be rough to get any help in Commie Nothing. What's Kumar up to? Kumar has a stable. He's on his way to Castle Age. He has 1 gold workshop. That's great. 1 gold workshop for Feglord as well. Koreans would be pretty strong on this map because they collect stone faster. And, I mean, the intimidation factor of being Koreans is real on Commie Nothing. Probably the best civ. They have a lot of hidden bonuses. It's a realistic map. Town center again for Infoboat, so he's creating more of these workers on the stone. And yes, the stone comes in very slow, guys. Look at this villager. 3 stone, 4 stone and a bit. I mean, that is much slower than you would expect. Please tell me everyone is Slavs. There's a lot of people that are Slavs. I don't want to bring up the overlay because it is filling up the whole screen right now. So, man, this is getting a little bit too real. We got bears attacking people as they're trying to go to work. The villagers are not very efficient, and there's way too many of them. No one seems to care that the villagers are dying. No one's even picking up no one's even stopping their work to mourn their losses. Well, the next thing we're going to get is Khabib is going to fly in and smack somebody on the face. Like, when all the bears die, Khabib comes in, jumps off the cage, and smashes someone in the face. I don't think a lot of my audience is going to be fighting fans, so I don't know if that's going to really catch on with a lot of you. Game recommends 225 pop. Yeah, I said 225, so that's what we have here. So let's bring up that overlay, even though it's gonna look weird. Let's bring up that overlay, and I guess this is decent. Just see the populations. What? What did I just break it? It didn't say move. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, so the populations are interesting. 100 vills for Ariane. Spears and pointy boys for Shulker. And all he sees are hundreds of workers on the stone.
14 months already. T90 go love all the content you make, Tristan. Thank you.
Guys, instead of arguing over communism, let's talk about Trump. No. Let's not. Let's not. I should probably know better, right? I should probably know better than to do something like this, right? But in all seriousness, let's actually enjoy the game, have a laugh, and not take it too far, okay? Everywhere else on the internet, they're going to take it too far. Let's not. Because I would gladly stop the game and just do something else if that becomes the case. Like, for the most part, This is not something that I would bring up on my stream. So, no politics. Let's continue. Let's have some fun, guys. Yosumi, thank you for the 6 months. Guardian Angel, you are welcome, man. You're welcome. Thank you very much. You know, you gifted a lot of subs on this stream, and thank you for the 14 months now. Hope things are well. Thank you, Odo, for the bits. Skinflint, if I didn't shout you out already, thank you for the Prime sub, man. So I guess it just comes down to the gold income, right? I wish, instead of, you know how the overlay shows trade carts? I wish we had one for trade workshops. Because Ariane has 2 workshops as far as I know. Yeah, there's no hotkey for these, so... just 2, and his gold count is rising. We have 1 for Wild Beast. Again, assuming he's building them there, he has 1. We have 2 for Infoboat. Infoboat's probably going to get a lot of them because he has a lot more stone modders. We have 1 for Shulker, so most people have either 1 or 2. Kumar with his 1. We have 1 for Feglord. Sorry, 2 for Feglord. And soon 3. That's deceiving. That when you see the foundation and when it's being built, it looks a lot wider than the actual workshop itself. So, okay. So 3. And it is 2 currently for Sally. Sally has a lot of scouts. He has a lot of scouts. Vietnamese light cav aren't the best, but I'd at least consider getting that upgrade. There's a castle for wasted talent. Now, a lot of these guys are allied. You cannot get Carto, so 0 cartography regardless of if you're allied with someone or not. The castle goes up. The castle's pretty cheap in comparison to that trade workshop, but this is great for positioning. Infoboat's been going for the trade workshops. He's on 3 now, but perhaps he should build a castle so he doesn't get steamrolled there. And, yep, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Infoboat's now getting hit by this castle. Now, does Wasted Talent have him on neutral? He does, so... they're not going to auto-attack unless he sets him to enemy. Infoboat, build a castle here, brother. Just go into a castle war. Oh, you think the castles cost 800 gold? Oh, yeah, didn't it say something about that? I think it did. I think it did. Shulker says wasted stone on a castle. How much do castles cost? I think I read it. I think Tomatrix is right. Towers are 250 gold, 50 wood. Castles 800 gold. Bombard Tower is 600 gold. Ah, okay. I see. So the town center even is 275 wood and 100 gold. So, alright, let's see how it goes. T90 official, I do not want to be too critical, but the joke of the map is communism. You even made an emote for it. I agree it shouldn't be a main issue in chat, and I don't really think you should criticize people for it either. The map does sort of ask for the discussion to come up. Let me point out, though, I agree it shouldn't be the main point in chat. I agree that I opened the door for it. I agree that I opened the door for conversation over things. But I think that we can be reasonable with it, right? That's all I'm saying. Be reasonable with it. Everything can be taken too far. So, perhaps, as a big streamer, this might not have been a good move. And maybe I shouldn't do something like this. But I believe that those of you in Twitch chat can handle this. Those of you on YouTube can handle this. And we don't have to take it too far. So, it's collective effort as a community, right? So that would make sense why Infoboat couldn't build his castle. Right? He couldn't build his castle. He can in a bit, and he just needs a little bit more gold, and then I would build one. You know, Wasted Talent could click up to the Imperial Age with the gold income he has and the food income. Infoboat's collected more stone, so long term he's going to have more workshops. And he's on 4. It will be 5, actually. So yeah, prioritize the center, get the workshops up. And then go to Imp, and since you can't trade, whoever has the most workshops is going to have a pretty big lead. I guess you can't buy stone here, right? You can't buy stone.
Able to catch you online to share our 3 months.
I respect you for doing this, and I'm sorry for contributing to the less fun aspects of the discussion here, but I did have a lot of fun with it too. Sure, you can have a lot of fun. Like, fun is cool, but all I'm saying is just be reasonable, right? Be reasonable. Especially in 2018, it's like, oh, super risky to ever do anything like this. It's not how I think if people are reasonable, life can be fun. Tarza says, you can't build a market, so you can't exchange res. Exactly, yeah, so you can't sling. You do have your stone around your TCs if you haven't collected that yet, right? So it actually gives you... I don't know how much stone is here exactly, but I think that gives you at least 2 of the workshops. And then when the fighting begins, sniping workshops will be quite a big deal. I assume Ariane and Sally are going to stay allied to the end of time. Simply because of the Legend of Texas video. Drunk Goat says it's enough for 4. Okay, cool. Cool. Well, what do you do with these villagers once you collect all the stone? Tarsus, not Tarsus, sorry, Shulker is making militia for whatever reason, and he's making pikes, and he's loading them up into these rams. I wonder if he wants to attack Wasted Talent.
This map has too much food.
Yeah, maybe too much food indeed. I wonder if the farms run out. Does anyone know if they're infinite? Okay, never mind. Seems like they run out. So actually, wood is going to be a concern. Wood is going to be a pretty big concern. Yep, villagers dying. As I expected, once a castle goes up, that guy's always going to be in a position to turn on people. And he's doing that as we speak. Turning on Sally. And Sally says, great, turned on me. And yeah, he needs to run away. Alright, so Shulker's moving in with a few rams. I respect the move. I don't think this move is going to work. And Gray hasn't reacted yet, actually. Now, does it cost gold to repair your castle? Or does it cost stone to repair your castle? Gray has to fight with Vils. He doesn't have anything. Actually, he could use his rams here. Is Shulker going to kill this? Let's see. It's definitely not stone to repair this. So maybe yeah, it seems like it's gold. Don't lose your castle, Wasted Talent. He has infinite gold income as long as his workshops are alive, so this won't be an issue. Just, yeah, he'll save it. He'll save it. Sally with a good point. He says middle is running dry anyway. Very, very true. Very, very true. So let's go through the civs again. We have Teutons for Wild Beast. We have Slavs for Infoboat. Chinese for Shulker. We have Slavs for Wasted Talent. Slavs for Kumar. Slavs for Feglord. Vietnamese for Sally. And for Ariane. I think this game could be a long game without trade. Because I guess it really depends how much gold income you're getting from the trade workshops. We have 1, 2... We have 9 here for Wasted Talent. Is that going to be enough? I suppose right now he has a lot of population. He needs to lose some population space and then... Or lose some pop and then he has space for more units. There's a lot of Vils. You know, Spanish would be pretty strong on this map. We didn't allow Spanish to be picked. But imagine Spanish on this map because the Vils are cheaper. What's the difference again? Is it 25 food for a Vil and then they take up half a population space? Is that what it comes out to? We have a castle now for Infoboat. The starting castles always look different than your Civ's architecture. Yeah, Mac Mouse, it seems like it could be, man. It seems like it could be. Well, the gray player here is actually going to fight. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. I would like Slavs, but then again, Slavs is boring. Slavs is really boring. Like, we see Slavs all the time because it's already one of the best civs. So I really like the duo in the south here for going Vietnamese. Are they gonna have the edge versus Slavs? No, probably not. However, they at least get some style points for me. It's cheaper and made faster, but half as efficient. Is the pop space affected? I guess we have 173 vills. So maybe the pop space is not affected. I thought it was the pop space. They're chopping through the wood pretty quickly here. It's also pretty inefficient because of the layout of it. Oh, trust me, I know from experience. Well, I asked, I assumed Hank, because he made it like an altered version to make it faster, I assumed it wouldn't be one that would go on for a long time, but hey, we'll see, man. We'll see. So I'm going to be honest. I think Slav champions end up being really strong if players end up going for trash, right? I think Slav Siege end up being very strong. Vietnamese could have their elephant options. They could have their champion options as well. Wild Beast just seems to be pretty far behind. He took those losses earlier. He's only going for a few Mackinells and Knights and Pikes. T90, what do you regard as the worst civ in the game? If you're talking in general, probably... it's tough to say. I actually think Vietnamese is one of the worst civs in the game right now. It's very situational, but I think Vietnamese are pretty weak. Even in post-imp here, they can be outshined by the Teutons or the Slavs or the Chinese. Koreans, well, the thing is with Koreans, they have really poor early game, right? But they have an amazing late game. And Vietnamese, they have a poor early game and they have a subpar late game. So that I would still put Koreans over Vietnamese if we're talking in general. And then civs like someone said Vikings and Turks. The Vikings are a great civ. And Turks are actually, they're great civ as long as they have gold, so. So I think Blue's in trouble here. His population is only at 100 when other players are above 200. I don't know how he can defend himself from this. He has 3 workshops. It's just 3 workshops versus Arion, who, yeah, he's a lot more, so he's a lot more gold income. Sally says, who wants some money? Well, he can't trade. So I don't know how he's going to give people money. Maybe he's found the loophole? Red realizing he can't sell. And oh boy! Feglord, where you going, buddy? 4,000 gold for him, making hussars. Is he going to go to the center? Center's not really important right now. Not sure. Paper money. He's researching Viet. Wait. What's that tech again? Tributes 500 gold to each ally? Oh, yeah. That's funny. That's funny. I mean, he really had to think about that before the game. So yeah, with paper money, anyone who's allied will get 500 gold. So, does that mean if we do Force Nothing 256 tech, and you choose Vietnamese, you can get that guy to research paper money 256 times, and send that gold 256 times? I don't know. Elite Teutonic Knight, welcome back for 25 months, man. Easy Crimson, thank you for the prime. Hatakani again, thank you for 2. Digital with the tier 3 7 months. Digital, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I honestly enjoy community games a lot. I think when I first started doing this, I didn't really enjoy community games, but once the maps started getting more complex and more interesting, and players got much better at making things different, I've grown quite fond of them. And also, as a streamer, of course, I want to entertain. So when people are hyped up and people are interested as well, then that's what it's all about. Wild Beast is running away, which makes sense. And can you convert these buildings? Can you convert a gold workshop? Can Vietnamese... I don't even know anything about their monk techs. Okay, I guess they wouldn't be able to. But if you could convert these workshops, that would be pretty overpowered as well. I think Slavs could do that. Chinese could do that. That would be the weakness of Vietnamese, I guess, then, is that you can't convert these. And poor Blue is running away here, but without workshops, he will never have any gold. Green, we were allies. And Green says, oops, sorry. And Green's trying to make his way through these trees. This is the problem with maps like this. The units don't path correctly. And still not sure exactly where he's going to go. Hank said it was way OP. What, the converting? Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it makes sense. It's very little gold investment for it. But Blue would have the opportunity to delete his gold workshop. So he should realize that and delete it. Siege Onager now for wasted talent. He, I think, is in the lead. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these workshops. Possibly not ahead with that number. I think we have... Well, what's Infoboat at? He should have more, right? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 workshops. So he's at 6,000 gold. All right. This is really unique. Like, Hank's way of thinking about this is really unique. Like, it's definitely complex, but once you get the hang of it, it's really cool. I shall come to thy aid, wild beast, says Infoboat. So Infoboat is going to fight Feglord, I guess, who for some reason is picking on wild beast. And he's going to fight Arion. Well, great strategy from Infoboat. Infoboat realized the importance of the stone, committed all of his villagers to the center early on, and ended up collecting more despite not having the castle there. Falco, thank you for the Prime sub, man. Rosenbagel, welcome back for 5 long months. I guess 5 months is not long ago at all. I don't know why I said that. That was like summer. Summer feels like just yesterday, but regardless, Rosenbagel, thank you for the support, man. And yeah, this is going to be difficult for Shulker. He had a rough road in the beginning. He tried to kill Wasted Talent, and Wasted Talent, he's going to remember that. Excuse me, I promise this game is not boring. I've just been having issues with sleep lately, and yeah, it's going to be problematic for Shulker. The Petards are actually useful there versus Siege Rams, but these Siege Onagers, they could flatten his whole army. Oh, Shulker's going to micro. He's a T90 mod, so he automatically has 2k micro. Never mind. Feglord getting chainmail armor, so probably going towards the infantry. And Arion says Infoboat. Infoboat says yes. Infoboat is hanging out next to Arion. And Arion says, listen, I'm not attacking him anymore. I want to be your friend. Now Wild Beast says, well, thank you. Oh, he actually rebuilt a gold workshop. Nice. Ah, Infoboat realizes that the stone is still here, and that's what he wants. Good point. And on the other side,
for doing all this great work.
Kumar wants to fight.
Similar to Halloween, will there be a tree decorating stream for Christmas?
Argo, I am most likely not going to be doing a Christmas decorating, a Christmas tree decorating stream. I will be doing a 24-hour stream 3 days. That's right, 3 days before Christmas, so maybe I'll have a tree behind me for that, but I don't think I'll decorate it. That's a nice idea, though. It's a nice idea, though. Shulker's been defeated. Was this king right here? I'm sorry, chat. I wasn't looking at the game. I was reading waste of human efforts comment in the Twitch chat. But I don't think that comes as a surprise to anybody that Shulker dies here. He was really going to be up against it. Now, this is where these workshops can be converted if Gray thinks about it. The king died on the screen. Cool. Schalker did say at the beginning, I always die first, so don't give me host. And he was right. He was right. And Arion and Infoboat are fighting over this stone. Look at the walls from Sally. Can we just talk about Sally's walls for a second? Fortified wall. Is he gonna wall off this whole section? Goodness gracious. Let's get those T90 walls going in the chat. Kumar said he wanted to fight someone, but he probably didn't want to fight Feglord, and he says pick on someone your own size. Yeah, Feglord's killing Kumar now, so pretty aggressive play. It's not quite the Great Walls of China, but we have the Great Walls of Vietnam, which, well, it works here, I guess. So Infoboat is probably in the best position when it comes to gold. Not probably, he is. That can change if Wasted Talent thinks about converting these, which we'll see. Definitely I'd put my money on Wasted Talent and Infoboat as individuals, but then Arion and Sally, they have the best team because, well, they're the Legends of Texas. That's not a wall, it's the Iron Curtain. Ah, yes, there we go. There we go, it's the Iron Curtain. Wait, they can't be converted? I thought it is they can convert them. Drunk Goat. Kumar's defeated. I'm fairly certain that if he gets the monk text, he can. Because Slavs get the monk text. The issue for purple was that he doesn't get the monk text. But Slavs should get the monk text to convert that. Oh, Hank changed it. Gotcha, okay. Well, that doesn't make Gray's decision to kill these look silly then. But he is going to get some more stone. And he might be able to afford another workshop. Okay, cool, guys. I wasn't aware. Thanks. So, this is potentially going to be a long game. And I gotta put a sweatshirt on. It's freezing in here, okay? So, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna show you this little area for 2 minutes. I gotta get a sweatshirt. It's freezing in my place. It's cold and rainy outside. Very fitting. Very fitting weather for the map. Alright, that's better. Thank you for your patience. So, yes, Rattan Archer's there from Sally. I don't even have my headphones on yet. I can't hear the death and destruction. I'm missing it already. Alright, cool. It's so weird. My apartment, my living room is way too warm, and then my office is way too cold. You would think that where my computer is, it would be much warmer, but it's not the case right now. Drunk Goat, how dare you, man? You gave me a heart attack. He said you missed 3 snipes. Gave me a heart attack, man. I thought I did. I thought I did. Well, Infoboat could be in trouble, guys. Infoboat could be in big trouble. His king is here. He has some elite boyars, but Wasted Talent is knocking on his door. And also, Infoboat was unable to push Arion. And I missed chat here. We might be better off killing Gray. Their alliance needs to be stopped to do it. So, let's be friends with Gray and Green. I'm not sure exactly what the decision is. the Legends of Texas have been discussing how they're going to deal with Gray. That's essentially it. T90, can we get a garlic bread? Nothing. Don't know what the concept would be, but I'm sure Hank could come up with something. Well, maybe, man. Maybe. The wall is still continuing for Sally. He's still continuing with that massive curtain. Texas versus communism. That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. Who will win? Russia or Texas? They're both of equal size. Obviously, that's not true. Infoboat better run away with his Infa King, or his Robin Hood. He's running to the corner where Blue is still surviving. A nice addition from Blue to go hand cannons, and props to him for staying alive in this game. I thought he'd be dead by now. And Trebs are being whittled down with these champs, but that's what Siege Hunters can do to champions if they get connected once or twice. A few headshots coming in, well played. Wait, so what's happening here? Arion says, Wild Beast, last warning, ally or die. And Blue says, I'm dead anyway. And Infoboat says, ally him, Wild Beast, you are not. So I think they all want to focus on Gray. Sally says, I'll snipe Gray's stuff, sorry Infa, forgot to ally you. Okay, so it's going to be everybody versus Wasted Talent. That's what it seems like. Green is the only one not in the conversation right now, but he's in a fantastic position. And he's going for palisade walls. Oh man, we have this high-tech, strong, sturdy wall versus this low-tech, weak... Oh, double palisade wall. Are you... What is that, man? I'm sorry, but what's a double palisade wall gonna do in the Imperial Age? One little tap... Just a little tap, tippity tap from the siege ram, and that goes down. That's funny. That's funny. Alright, well. Yeah, Green killed Kumar already. He's 9,000 gold. He's hanging out here. And Infoboat's on the way. I think Gray's gonna struggle, guys. As strong as he has been, it's just not easy to play against 3 players as good as Infoboat, Arion, and Sally. I guess that Blue is not allied them. So Blue just kind of wants to die. I slightly disagree that he's dead. I mean, obviously he doesn't have the amount of workshops, but if he were to ally, he could maybe snipe people. I mean, there's that chance. He's right, the chances are low. T90, you didn't notice I tried to send my king to Wasted Talent as tribute, and he just honored it instead of taking it prisoner. Ah. Yeah, I was kind of looking at the Twitch chat at the time. My bad. I'm doing a lot of that this game. Sounds good, Dr. Moist. Sounds good, man. Yeah, I don't think it'll be an issue for you. It was just that we had more than one person having that complication with you. Otherwise, it probably would have made Arion sit out. So you were kind of the common denominator there. Oh, Feglord's going back home. He's going back home. So he doesn't want to fight. Infoboat is, well, alongside Sally, is on top of Wasted Talent. And Wasted Talent lost a gold workshop. And, you know, okay, he's sending his military back. So he's sending champions and bowyars back. They were pretty far forward. It looks like he tried to convert this and it was not possible for him as well. Gray, can you help me? Dude! Okay, so now I don't have much sympathy for Blue. You had the choice to ally these other guys. Maybe he's sticking to his guns and he feels like he's been bullied. Yeah, because Arion attacked him. So he would rather die than ally Arion. I guess that makes sense. But I feel that life is over for you now, buddy. No offense, but I just don't see you making your way out of this one. If I could clone myself, I would, Digital. I'm pretty good at it. I think the most difficult thing about community games, beyond setting the actual games up is communicating with the chat, but also making sure that I'm talking about the game, right? But in most cases, you guys in chat have really good input, and you talking about things that YouTubers would probably want to hear anyway, so that's not too bad. How much do farms cost? Do farms cost gold? Or is it still wood? Could I have you guys look at that big page for me? I can't seem to find it at first glance. I think they're going to push green here in a second. Oh, no, they're not going to push green. Green is doing the pushing. So green arrives with siege rams, cavalier halberdiers, and Sally realizes he needs to defend this. He will need some help from Arion, I think, because this composition that green has is going to be real tough to stop. Farms are still wood. Okay, cool. Thank you. So this overlay here, do you think I should remove it? Or do you think I should leave it? At the moment, it doesn't give us too much information, but it is bugged out. You know how it works.
Thanks for your work. You are helping me to improve my English a lot. Community games and pizza.
You guys are saying yes to remove it, right? Okay. Well, I'm going to remove it after this fight, because I don't want you guys to miss the action here. Halberdiers, Cavalier, Siege Rams. Siege Rams are so strong, and Feglord, low-key, is the strongest player in this game. With all the trade workshops he has, all the production he has, he's not only a strong player, but he has the resources. And this is where the Legends of Texas need to band together to help. And meanwhile, you have wasted talent with his bowyards he was able to hold at home. And maybe he'll get back into the thick of things here. He's on his way to the south. Yeah, good thing that Arion mixed in champs. Champs, they're going to be helpful here. If one person went for champions and one person went for rats and archers, maybe it'd be enough. But as you can see, like Vietnamese, they really need fully upgraded champs, I think. They don't have any eco bonus, and they don't get the last attack upgrade. And yet you have Slavs that get an insane eco bonus, cheap siege, and they get all the attack upgrades, you know? It's just sucks to be Vietnamese. Alright, I'm going to remove the overlay. T90 official, you can remove the overlay with Alt F4. Oh yeah, let me try that real quick. It doesn't seem to be working, man. Maybe you just didn't get the hotkey down. Thanks for the advice, though. Appreciate it. I want to see a group of units get quick-walled in here somehow. You know, because there's so many chokes. If we had top players playing on this map, they would wait for the unit, and then they would like build a market, and then build a house, and then build a house. It'd be a really tough quick wall, but there's possibility there. All right, rats and archers, champions. This is what I was calling for, making it rough for Feglord. And Feglord really just needs some siege onagers, I think. Something everybody can do is get to full pop. Now, something that people struggle with is, after you lose your army, making more. That's what separates the best of the best. And Feglord has the resources, but he just can't seem to produce as fast as he needs to. X Routine donated $2. He said, "Hey T90, great fan of your work. Seen a lot of your videos on YouTube. Getting back into AoE because of it. Now I see you live for the first time." You know, if that was text-to-speech, the text-to-speech lady would have said, "You get to see me live for the first time." I'm glad you could see me live, man. Thank you for the tip. Cav, welcome. If there's anybody else that might be new to the stream, make sure to say hello. I'll try and give you a shout out where I can. This could be a long one. This could be a long one. Feglord has the resources. He just can't get the numbers of military. He's really scrambling. And I think if you're Sally and Arion, just continue your push. Also, Hides Agrid, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. I'm glad that my stream can help you have some fun and improve your English. I've heard a lot of that, actually, from people saying that just listening to people speak English who are native English speakers really helps them. Wild Beast will win while he's still alive, man. That would be a legendary victory, that's for sure. Hey Shogun, he says, first time watching, also welcome, good to see you. Tetrades says, first time watching, already throwing up. Tetrades, never change, man, never change. Good to see you, dude. I haven't seen you around in, I think it's been a year, right? Maybe you've been lurking out there. Infoboat says, repairing your ally's workshop costs stone. Oh, interesting, okay. Well, Gray's camping right outside of Infoboat's base, and Infoboat is here with Bowyars and helps. I think Green could be dead. Really surprising. It might be wood that's his biggest concern here, because he has a lot of everything else. I don't see him stopping this, really. He needs all these workshops. If he doesn't have the workshops, he's dead. His king, of course, needs to survive. I think another one's going to bite the dust pretty soon. Spirit of the Law said that the slab farm bonus does basically nothing. Is that still the case? It's never been the case. If Spirit of the Law said that, Spirit of the Law was wrong. It's one of the most overpowered bonuses in the game right now, according to many pro players. In fact, it was nerfed recently, and it's still really strong. But I think when it comes to Spirit of the Law's videos, it's not necessarily applicable to actual play. Sometimes it's just some cool statistics. Unless we're talking about, like, a different time when it basically did nothing, I'm not sure. But I think when it comes to that, it might have been a different version or patch. This could have been, like, if he has had the video up for 2 years, it could have been different at that time. And Twitch chat is saying that it was not working like it was supposed to. Gotcha. Yeah, dude, it's tough for me to remember exactly when changes were made to things, you know? And obviously I don't know when Spirit made the video. Alright, cool. Thank you, chat. So the king runs away. I think Feglord just can't catch up now. Based off his population, I don't have a lot of faith in the guy. And he can't afford to lose these workshops. Arion's building bombard towers.
Teal and blue should work against orange and purple, otherwise they stand no chance since they work so good together, those two.
Nivida, I agree. I was just gonna get there. I think that the Legends of Texas are gonna divide and conquer everybody. Green says, where's my king? Sally says, let me check and research this treason to see where it is. So he's gonna run away with his king now. But what's he running to? You know, he's unable to protect what he needs here. T90 official, what is this map? This map is called Commie Nothing. This map is called Commie Nothing for Commie games, man. Gotcha. Alright, guys. Well, that was the wrong question for me to answer then. About the whole slab farm thing. Is it 600 or 800 gold for the tower? I think it's... Well, it makes sense for it to be 600, so I guess that's what it is. You know, I still can't count out Infoboat because he has 19,000 gold. I just can't count him out. What about Gray? Can't count him out either. I do agree that you probably need an ally if you're going to kill the Legends of Texas. Honestly, we could see 100, 150, even 200 military in this game. The Feglord is, yeah, killed off by Sally. Because Feglord, he has 3,000 gold, or 3,000 food, and he barely had any farmers for the last 10 minutes, so. Like, Infoboat, I guess the farmers work slower, but if you were to use some of the lumberjacks to build farms, I think he could stand to delete some vills and get more pop space. Sally's realizing he doesn't get redemption. Well, doesn't really matter, Sally. Doesn't really matter. You don't need it. Even if you had redemption, you couldn't convert the workshops. Nivida, thank you for the tip, man. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, it seems like I've been brought up to speed on everything. Brodo Sam says T90, your YouTube helped me preserve my sanity in stressful times. Thank you. You're welcome, man. Good to hear. Tetrades, I do not play WoW. I think if I were to get into WoW, I would be addicted, just like with Age of Empires 2. It's one of those games, right? So, I would build forward production buildings. You have the golds, right? I think it's time to build forward castles. You could build endless castles with the endless gold coming in from those workshops. And forward siege workshops, all of that. Just help yourself with reinforcements. Because that's normally the concern in these fights. Sure, you might have 100 units, but you'll lose the 100 units and your reinforcements will be way back at your base. So the same thing goes for Infoboat. I don't think this game is as long as I think it's a bit deceiving. Right? Because this has been an hour and a half, but it's been on fast speed. It's not too bad. More towers from Arion. What do I do when I'm alone? There will only be one victor. Arion says a threesome, of course. Yeah, Sally says there will only be one victor. It's the cold truth. Best threesome. You, your hands, and another hand, and your other hand. Sally, this is a PG stream. Come on, we can't be talking about that. Jeez. I'm gonna have to be like Ninja and have a T90 After Dark community game stream now. Come on, man. Oh, the speed says normal. I'm dumb. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Still hasn't felt that long to me. This game hasn't felt that long to me. I think there's been a lot of activity in it, right? So there's been a lot of things to talk about. I don't see blue coming back, chat. If you could build a market, then sure, but he really is not going to get gold. I think you get 1 gold by default, as he's doing, but the workshops just compound that. And he can't... I guess you could build 1 workshop, right? Just where does he build it? Kill Gray first, then we'll get to it. And now Infoboat says, Gray, why are you attacking me? And Infoboat is saying, ally me, Gray. Stupid fake legends. Oh! Oh, the war cry. That beautiful sounds. So maybe we will see what we think we need to see. Gray and Teal versus the Legends of Texas, and then Blue's just kind of a spectator. Yeah, Blue might be the only person who's risen 60 pop, but he's also the only person who's had 150 pop to gain. They're slowly pushing towards Gray on this side, so Gray really needs Infoboat. Orange is attacking me, get to him. Arion says, Gray, I respect you as a man, but you are next. Oh, wow, so Arion, he makes his feelings known. Nope, Shones the workshops, they cost 1,000 stone. It's a castle that costs 800 gold. Confusing numbers, I know. But yeah, to build a gold workshop, which gives you a slow trickle of gold, you need 1,000 stone. Whoa! Whoa! Sally's building a wonder. Why are you building a wonder? Don't build it there, man. You want to build that wonder in the southern corner. You know, if it's on standard... I wish there was a way to check here. If it was on standard, that'd be great. Whoa, they chose a giant map, too. Alright. Didn't realize that. I wonder would have made things interesting. Here comes Gray to pick off some bombard cannons, and wow, well done. Honestly, guys, I think people will start buying wood. Because gold's not a concern for the top dogs in this game. It will be wood. Not for Sally, but maybe for Gray. Yeah, it's more of a concern, right? Oh, I keep forgetting there's no market. I'm sorry. Can you tell, like, how how much this ruins like my normal casting, because I'm so used to being able to say that, you know. It's like my go-to is just go to the market, and you can't buy it. Yeah, thanks for the reminder. Like I said that knowing that you can't build a market, but my brain is just wired in a way where in nothing maps or in late game you have to start buying things. You know, it's not possible in this map. Infoboat says, I'm at their base. Yeah, he is arriving. And Gray's saying, okay, you attack them, and then I'm just going to hold on my side.
1890, thanks for letting me join in another community game. Also want to say thank you to all of the players who work so hard to create all of these awesome and fun maps. Also, today your casting has been about on par with your farm place T90 farm.
Honestly, I can't even be offended by that, you know? I don't think my casting has been too great today, man. Airbalim, thank you for the $30, bro. Glad you could get into the game, and yes, you're exactly right. Thank you to everybody. You know, the whole community is important, right? The audience of community games is important. The people who create the map for community games is important. Players are important. Then you look at the pro scene, casters are important. The organizers are important. Admins, and then players. So really everybody plays their part to give us the amazing community we have. So thank you to everybody who plays whatever role they do play in this community to bring us where we are in 2018, which is still just crazy to me. Age of Empires 2, being where we are today is just, it's like a miracle almost. But it's a miracle, it's only going to continue to grow. T90 official, beer is also important. Yeah, I don't think beer is important. I don't think it really contributes much. It might contribute to some donations that I receive from people who get drunk while watching community games, so it might contribute to me. But the community? Maybe not too much. But then again, I probably have a lot of Germans out there, right? And for Germans, you guys wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for beer, so... And if the Germans weren't here, then the Age of Empires 2 community wouldn't be as big, so... Okay, I get it. I had to think about it, and I get it. So, Infoboat with more forward buildings. Champions and Siege on the way. And I think we're seeing now that Slavs is just much stronger than Vietnamese. Sally, he's had to fall back. Arion's had to fall back. Blue is still alive. He's just a spectator, as I've said many times, but there's a chance that he could snipe somebody. T90, can I have my paycheck early, please? I need to buy more wine. Nope. Nope. Gotta stick to the pay schedule, man. You know, when I was in Germany... Actually, how many people are Germans in the chat? Can I get a 1 or a salute if you're German? So I imagine it's going to be a lot of you, right? And my first time in Germany, I wasn't a big beer drinker. And I thought the beer was awesome there. Like, I really enjoyed the beer. And then that kind of opened my eyes to how beer can actually be good. I'm still not a fan of it in the States, but you guys have quality beer there. Blue says, truce? Who's he saying that to? Well, Blue, no one's really attacking you, right? I don't think he realizes the problems the others are encountering right now. Truce or I have to destroy you. Who's he talking to? You're not going to destroy anybody, man. Gray is destroying orange, and teal is destroying orange and purple right now. Czech beer is greater than German beer? Think so? Well, maybe I'll go to the Czech Republic someday. I would never make a trip for a beer, but... American beer is like having intercourse in a canoe. It's close to water. Oh my god. That's weird. I've never heard that phrase before. Did you just come up with that, or have you heard that one before? That's funny, man. Yeah, I'm aware. American beer is close to water. I really like to travel and I like to experience different things, and Germany was a good experience. Alright, so back to the game. Back to the game. I would love to see Blue snipe somebody. I would love to see Blue snipe somebody. He needs to wait for 500 more gold to build a castle, and then he could maybe go for a treb. One single treb, and then somehow snipe Gray or Teal or somebody. Just seems unlikely. What the Vietnamese players are lacking right now is an answer to the siege ram. Champions are okay, but as you can see, it's not great. As long as Infoboat brings in infantry with this, I think he can continue to push. And Gray is pushing on this side, and this is the last stand of Texas, I think. Can they find a way out of this? These guys gave me one of the best, if not the best, Diplo games ever. I still think it's the best Diplo game ever in the Legends of Texas, but they're allied now. There's no tricks. Everybody knows how they play. And they're just not doing all that well. Maybe I could say Sally's holding alright, but it's not looking pretty for the two Texans. Tattooed Gamer 92, thank you for the Prime sub, man. A Senesan, thank you for the Prime as well. Everlim, thank you again for the tip, man. That was a great game earlier. I felt bad because you didn't know about the whole militia thing, but again, if you rewatch it, you were probably pretty dead anyway. Honestly, if Blue just snipes one person, it makes my week. Because I don't even see how that's possible. If he just gets one person, it makes my week. That would be awesome. Vodka, greater than all other alcohol. Well, it's a personal preference thing, right? But I like vodka. You know what I've been drinking a lot recently? Well, not a lot, but you know, more often than not, what I've been drinking when I drink is whiskey. Like, I don't like to drink a lot. I like to have one drink and nurse it. So whiskey, for whatever reason, gives me, I don't know, I kind of enjoy it. Gives me a good feel, you know? And I don't drink excessively, so just one small glass of whiskey is enough. By the way, Conor McGregor's whiskey is awful. Don't buy it. I had that actually the night of his fight versus Khabib, and Conor's whiskey is about as good as his fighting was that night. I had that at a friend's house. But I guess it's really cheap, so you would expect super cheap whiskey to not be good. But I don't really know much about alcohol. I was just, you know, I'm trying to broaden my horizons in different ways. So I think it's safe to say the Texans are probably dead here, right? We got Gray pushing in a big way on the left. He's building the forward production buildings that Infoboat has on the right. And Arion's king is in this castle, which is soon going down, and he's losing his base. What's purple doing on the right? Oh, he's just been toggling through, I guess. He's been creating units. Maybe this is intentional. I thought that this was an accident, but he's forgotten about them. And he's trying to attack Infoboat, which might be a good strategy, because Infoboat's going to kill him if he doesn't do something different. And Sally says, "Are we dead?" It seems like that's coming, Sally. And he says, "I think we might be," and I think you might be too. Where on Voobly is this game? Community game. It's Medieval Siege, called T90 Games. I think it's game 2 right now? I'm not sure, but you'll see it in the list of games. Texas bourbon is my favorite. Local boys out of Fort Worth, Texas, and it's got a great flavor to it. Check if it's in your area. Gotcha. So, I will put that on my list of things to get. Is it game 2? Okay, cool. Thanks. Thank you for the suggestions, guys. You might want to PM that to me on Twitch, because I probably won't go back and look at the chat, or forget about it, but I think Sally and Arion need to find an eventful way to go out here, because going out fighting is not working. Infoboat says salt. Infobot did call them the fake legends. Those were some fighting words. What's Blue up to? You know, I have to say, really smart play from Gray to build all these castles around Blue, just in case Blue wants to turn on him. Because it's more risky for Blue to make that turn now because there's so many castles surrounding him. So I like that. Sally is now telling his ally to watch his king, which is in this castle. This castle's probably going to go down. Yeah, now this game is a bit long. I agree. Now this game is a bit long, but we'll probably just see one massive 1v1 between Gray and Teal, and Blue will be right in the thick of it. I spent too much gold on killing people, says Ariane. Honestly, Ariane, I feel like you played well. I feel like Sally played well, but you can't beat Slavs. That's the problem. Vietnamese is the worst pick on the list for me. Wasted Talent says you turned on the wrong peeps. Yeah, that as well. Their diplomacy was a bit obvious, I think, right? Like, there's no surprise that Ariane and Sally were going to be allied here, and they just tried to beat everybody else. Maybe they should have been more tactful with it. And there goes Ariane into the back corner, where he's building siege workshops, and we'll see what he has planned, but he's probably just delaying the inevitable now. Infobot played extremely well this game, guys. Extremely well. Gray has played well. They both have resources. They've both done a fantastic job of killing these two Texans. Just imagine if it were other people. Like, imagine if we didn't have two people as strong as Infobot and Wasted Talent. Ariane and Sally would have held on here forever.
Yes. Yes.
So Ariane says, we surrender. Let us do a Treb War. 1v1. I need my revenge. Oh, they're going to do the same thing that happened in the Legends of Texas. Infobot said, Dutchies forever. Oh, I didn't think about that. Wasted Talent is also Dutch. Please let me ally you once again. Gray is not very good looking, and that annoys me. Can we kill him? Sally says only if Ariane is saved too. Deal. So in one breath, Infobot said Dutchies forever, and then the next, he said that Gray is not very good looking. Now, is he insulting his physical looks, or just like the look of his base? Sally has his king in the south, right? It's near the south. He wants to do another Treb War with Ariane. Ariane is being left alive as part of the deal, and Sally has now changed Infobot to ally. So, is he really going to do all of that and just let him live? Weird.
First time to stream. Been binging your YouTube videos. Just watched Legend of Harry Davis. I cried for Smarty.
Forgot about that one. Ascend-san, thank you for the $5, man. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, poor Smarty. Props to Smarty for giving me that game, because Harry Davis has since been inactive. And so I wouldn't have been able to ever cast him and show the world what he used to do if it wasn't for her giving me that recorded game. Gray's building buildings here. Yeah, so I think this is what went down. This is my guess, okay? This is my guess. My guess is that Infobot said out loud, Dutchies forever. And when I say out loud, that means to everybody. Alright?
Long time viewer. Looking forward to the next Hidden Cup. Cheers to the community.
So I'm fairly certain that Infobot said that as a mind game, so Gray would trust him. Then, the next thing Infobot typed was to the two Texans, and he said, listen, I'm going to ally you and let you live, so you're essentially a distraction, and I can kill Gray. So, that's what happened. And Gray is doing the wise thing, and I don't think he's really trusting of Teal, or at least he's aware of the possibility that Teal might fight him. Infobot says Wild Beast needs to win this, man. So Infobot's playing some mind games here. Wild Beast is still alive, yes. Sally really just, he can't hold on unless Infoboat turns on Gray. And if Infoboat starts distracting Gray, then maybe all this will die, and there will be no reinforcements for Gray. Arion is, he wants a Treb War. He says, let's kill each other in a Treb War and make him win. It will be a legendary win for him. Alright.
I love watching your streams. It's my third time to stream, but it is quite relaxing to watch. Hope I get to join a community game maybe.
8B Waffle, thank you as well for the tip. Thank you, everybody. Dude, you have an equal chance as everybody else at getting in. We'll see what happens, man. We're going to have a lot of games today. I think after this game ends, I'm going to have a 5 to 10 minute break just to eat a little bit, grab some coffee, and then we'll start that next game. We'll be doing games all day. Ultra Shield says you have to be a mod to get in. It's rigged. That's pretty funny to hear from a guy who's been in multiple times and is not a mod. I think the old system that we had, I used the old system, which was the Chrome extension. I'm fairly certain that mods were favored back then. Like, I couldn't figure out why, but I think that in the past it was the case, just to be honest. Nowadays, I think if anything, mods are not favored. Just don't let my mods hear that. Digital, I wish I could do it off sub tier. That would be really cool as well, but I think that would also complicate things further than they need to be. So Sally's King is in this castle. He's barely holding on, and here comes Infoboat. So Infoboat making a huge move here. Most of the wood on this map is gone. So, to make more siege, it can be difficult. He has 20,000, which I guess is not a concern. And Sally says, oh god, I'm alive. So now look at Gray. Gray has dozens and dozens of champions going to the south, but now Infoboat's going towards him. So this was Infoboat's strategy. He was going to let the others live, so they would be a distraction. And now he's going to attack Gray, and Gray really has to turn around with some of these units. Or he has to somehow kill these two with the batch he has coming in, and then hold on, which is going to be really difficult. Drunk Goat asked me, what's the longest game that you've ever had on stream? We have to be close to a record at this point. Dude, you must have forgotten. You must have forgotten. I played a free-for-all Force Nothing game on normal speed once on stream. This was probably almost 2 years ago.
Good morning from Melbourne. Glad to catch your stream.
That game
Smile.
Was almost 6 hours game time on normal speed. So this game here is 2 hours normal speed. So imagine tripling that and then having me play it on Force Nothing. It was brutal. It was brutal. The only positive there was that I killed Smarthy. That was definitely a positive that... So I don't really regret it for that reason, but yeah, that was a long game. Mr. Free, thank you for 11, man. Good morning from Melbourne. That's awesome. That's awesome. So people are waking up now in Australia and India, able to catch community games on a Saturday. I'm glad I could switch community games to Fridays for me, so you can get in on the action, man. I also had a Force Nothing game with 200 HP trees, yes. However, that wasn't really that... Luckily, it wasn't the longest game ever, but we've made many, many mistakes. So, I like Boyars a lot more than Champions if you can afford to create them, and Wasted Talent NL can certainly do that. He's actually having a food issue, because he doesn't have the farms, but maybe with 10, 20 more farms, he'll have enough. He just wrecked Infoboat. He did not wreck Orange, he did not wreck Purple, they held on, but goodness gracious, that's a lot of Boyars. Funny thing is, Infoboat's at 210 pop, so he's just spamming right back. It's like Goths with Infoboat. The guy's crazy. So these guys are talking. We fought you honorably, meanwhile this piece of shit Infoboat betrayed you. This is amazing! Wait, this is amazing because Arion and Sally are in on it. Arion and Sally agreed to ally Infoboat. They're allies currently. Arion says, hey Gray, we fought you honorably. Meanwhile, this piece of shit Infoboat betrayed you. Ally us and let's kill him. And then Sally says he betrays anyone to have a victory. Alright, I see. So, this is just the Legends of Texas at it yet again. This isn't 4D chess, this is 5D chess from the Texas guys. And this would be an impressive victory because Sally and Ariane are essentially dead. I guess there's a little bit of gold income for them because they still have some of their workshops, but it's not near as good as the other players. I'm getting real excited now. Because right after that chat, I started to believe again. And Ariane says, Gray, I swear to you, I'm bringing you to victory, and people with kids at home, you might want to mute for like a couple minutes or maybe the rest of the game because Ariane he's passionate about this. He says, my army will be ready soon. I will destroy this fucker. 150 champions. I'm 12 and I saw that. Yeah. Sorry, bud. Sorry. I have my stream set for mature audiences because of Mr. Ariane. And Dave, obviously. Better safe than sorry, right? Yo, Sakam, thank you very much for the 3 months. Sakam, is it Sakam B or is it Sakam Peanut Butter? Whatever it is, man, thank you for 3. So, Boyars and Champions and Siege and Boyars and Champions and Siege and Boyars and Champions and Siege. It just doesn't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Addicted to the shindig. And wow, it's a lot of Rams for Infoboat. It's a lot of Rams for Infoboat. Ariane says, yo, Infoboat. This is the real reason we're here. Just for the chat. Says, I'm getting ready for Gray. Is he getting ready for Gray? This feels like an Ariane backstab. He's like, hey, Infoboat, where do you want me to attack him? I just so happen to have 150 champions right next to your walls, but I'm not going to attack you. I'm going to attack Gray for sure. Yeah, okay. That's believable. I wouldn't believe that for 1 second. Now, the crazy thing about this is Infoboat let Ariane live, if you recall. We're having fun right here, but don't go through Wild Beast. He's my bae. So from there, of course. Okay. So, yeah, Wild Beast is kind of funny, man. Like, he's still alive. Does he have a siege workshop? No. Does he have a castle? No. I don't know what he's going to do. But he's just kind of existing, you know? He's doing his thing, and everyone's fighting around him, and he's thinking, well, I hope they don't turn on me, because I'll be dead. Infoboat says, what's that? Ariane says, my army. I don't have any more wood for buildings. Okay, so, something to remind you all of. Okay? This is Commie Nothing, and if you're allied, you don't have cartography, so you can't see what people are doing. So, Infoboat, who is allied with Ariane, catches a glimpse of these champions. And Ariane is saying that he needs to move this way for resources. But I'm not sure what Ariane's going to do. I have a feeling he's going to go towards Infoboat. Now, Ariane has just won a big fight, cleaned up some of Gray's units, and Gray's only at 115 pops, so Infoboat could actually do this. Infoboat says, you're condemning me to death, man. Used up all my resources fighting you in Gray. Which is not really the case. He has more resources than anyone, but hey, these are mind games, right? This is how you have to play. And Ariane says, Gray, how's it going? I'm almost ready. So Ariane will turn on Infoboat. So on one hand, Infoboat did let Ariane live. But on the other hand, Infoboat said publicly, fake legends, or fakest legends, right? So Infoboat made fun of them, started to kill them, then backed off. And I don't think it should be very surprising to see that since he let them live, they're going to start attacking him. This is what Ariane and Sally give you guys. This is the second time, maybe the third time they've been together in a game. The first time was with the Legends of Texas. This time it's been really good once it got to post-imp. Infoboat also got to give him credit for the typing. He says, I know you mistrust me, Ariane, but please, I'm sorry for our past. And at the same time, literally at the same moment, Ariane's like, hey, Wild Beast, we're gonna fuck up Infoboat. Wanna join? And Wild Beast says he is my friend. Oh my god, there's so much emotion involved in this. Will Infoboat's children be spared? Ariane says, let's be ally. I won't attack you, Blue. Oh, wait! And now I think Wild Beast is telling Infoboat. Wild Beast is telling Infoboat, hey, they just told me they're gonna attack you. Wow, so Wild Beast respects Infoboat for letting him live, and so he's giving him a heads up. Well, Wild Beast is a man of character. So, that was a mistake from Ariane to spill the beans there. That was a big mistake, and look who's coming back to town. Wow. Alright. Infoboat says, never trust anyone, you guys are mean, I loved you. Okay, I think that's kind of a lie because you did call them fake legends and because you tried to kill them. But anyway, here he comes, and he's going to go right towards this area. Now, this is what he can see. So he's thinking, there's about 50 champions. This won't be too bad. This won't be too bad. I can handle this. But he doesn't realize how many units are there. Could you recap the remaining civs? Sure, Biella. So we have Slavs in the north. Well, Gray and Teal are Slavs. We have Teutons for blue, but he doesn't have... I've said this for a while, but he really doesn't have enough gold income. He doesn't have gold workshops. You have Ariane and Sally as Vietnamese then. Okay, so Infoboat changes Sally and Ariane to enemy.
Food, please.
Ariane says, Alimento, por favor. And now the big fight begins, and that is a lot more champions than I'm sure Infoboat expected. Now, Sally has not really been fighting. He's been trying to reboom. And Ariane says, let's go, Gray, I'm fighting him. So it's all versus Infoboat, basically. All versus Infoboat, and Gray is coming. So let's see. Remember, Infoboat, he's also in a legend video. He called the two in the south fake legends, and I think the two in the south want to take Infoboat down with them. I don't think that Ariane and Sally think they have a real fighting chance. I think they just don't want Infoboat to win. And so a large 3v1 is incoming. T90 official, if I miss my final exam on the 18th, you can be held responsible. Just love what you're doing. Alright, man. Just listen. I have a couple regulars here on the stream who are professors. You might get lucky. Maybe your professor is watching the stream, and if you just tell them you like Force Nothing or whatever you like, then they'll be understanding. I mean, I would be if I was a professor. Dux the Savior is a teacher, and he told me that he told his students about Force Nothing, and they looked at him like he was weird, and that was the end of it. So, you're probably not in that class then? Wild Beast is getting long swordsman, guys. Wild Beast is getting long swordsman. Oh my goodness. Infobolt, meanwhile, is doing work with these bowyars. And I'm guessing Ariane has low population, and he does. He does. He has very low population. He doesn't have the economy. He doesn't have the resources, guys. So that's probably just... that was basically the resources he had left. And he's gotten wiped up. Now, that has given Gray an opportunity to push all these castles. Infoboat is asking Wild Beast for help. I think this has all shifted Wild Beast back into the lead, but he honestly didn't do enough for me. I feel like he had 5-10 minutes there to be able to do a bit more. Because Infoboat, he's already cleaned up Ariane. He could just show up and clean up Gray. Ariane says, I'm out of steam. Good luck, Gray. What is Mr. Sally doing? This is just like Sally in the other game in Texas. He's making the light calf. Alright, I will delete some vills and make helps. So Wild Beast says he's gonna help Infoboat. Which is probably a good decision. If I'm... Oh, man. I'm not sure... So on one hand, right? All of the economy for Wild Beast is right next to Gray. But on the other hand, Infoboat has been nicer to Wild Beast. So I'm not sure who Wild Beast would fight with. Because if he fights with Infoboat, then he loses his economy. But if he fights against Infoboat, Infoboat's been the nice guy. And Infoboat is really strong right now too, so... Wild Beast King is in teal. Oh, is it? No, it's not. Oh, yes, it is. I'm sorry. I'm dumb, okay? Just accept that I'm a moron sometimes, and we can leave it at that. Yeah, it's right there. That's also another argument. Wild Beast, Infoboat backstabbed me twice. If you help him, we'll turn on you. Better join us. So now, poor Wild Beast, man. Wild Beast, he just wants to live a peaceful life. He hasn't really attacked anybody. He's been the one that's been attacked. He's just been defending his people. And now, he doesn't know what to do. What decision do you make here? Ariane says he betrayed everyone at a point. He will kill you as well. So Ariane's trying, he's basically dead himself, and he's trying to convince Blue to join Gray. And he says, Blue says to everyone, this is worse than Game of Thrones. Poor guy. Like, what's he do here? On one hand, he probably should stay with Infoboat, because Infoboat has been nice to him. But on the other hand, his king is here. So he, I don't know. I think maybe he has to try and run with his king and fight with Gray. Because I agree with the points of Gray, and I agree with the points of Ariane. As sneaky as they might be, I think that Infoboat's the strongest. I think that he has backstabbed people, so... Yeah, he can't contribute much now anyway, so it's... I don't think it really matters. It's drama, right? But I don't think it's going to affect Gray's life much, regardless of what the decision is from Blue. Because he can only make helps, I think. Those in the Twitch chat are starting to root for Wild Beast. It's been a wild game from him, not very beastly, but maybe he's yet to unleash the beast, guys. Oh boy! You know what it's gonna be. You know what doesn't cost gold? Pointy boys. He's gonna make some pointy boys. He has more wood, he has more food than anyone for pointy boys. And he's adding capped rams. If he has enough production, he could actually beat his counter units. Obviously, it's very difficult to do, and I'm just trying to hype you up, and I still think it's not very possible, but let's forget that point. Maybe. Just maybe. Yes, Mr. Beebs, good suggestion. I'll show you all the resources. So here's the resources for Wild Beast. I'm going to go to Infoboat's point of view. You can see he's just struggling with food. He has the gold, has the wood. Look at Gray now. Not bad for him, but food and wood could be an issue. You look at Sally. Sally's at 225 pop? How does he have that much gold? How is he still alive? So he's still a factor. And then Ariane has 80 pop. He's trying to reboom, but I just don't see him doing very well. Alright. Infoboat's coming, or trying to come through the walls here. Currently he has... Sorry, wrong person. He has 153 boyars, guys. 153 boyars. Wow. Well, what's up with Gray? He's enemy to Infoboat. Is there a reason he's not attacking him right now? Or maybe he had to use the bathroom or something? I feel like he could have 153 bowyars, and he could be pressuring. He's not really doing that. Not talking either. Ariane says, I'm T90 fine, I make villagers, and I trust you, my love. He says that to Sally. And Infoboat, speaking to Wild Beast, says, not yet, Wild Beast. You can wait. I'll help when we get there, and then you and I fight it out. So he's talking about Wild Beast in the north. Remember, Gray can't see this. Actually, he can see a few of the pointy boys. But for the most part, he can't see that. Yeah, and Teal is saying he's just trying to get through these walls. If he had an onager, he could just cut the trees and run right in. Yeah, guys, I have a really fun idea. This is probably the best idea I've had all day. How about we just talk about the game? Oh my god. That just made so much sense when I said it. I feel like that might work. I feel like we could have fun with that. I feel like it could work. So here's a question. Who are you guys rooting for? Because I'm really torn on all this. I think Gray has been the most honorable top dog. But I kind of like the devious acts of Infoboat and Sally and Ariane. But then there's the Wild Beast guy who is the clear underdog. So I think we could have people torn on this. Wild Beast, Infoboat, Texas, Infoboat, Infoboat. Alright. Wild Beast says, can you pass 100 gold? I need attack. Well, yeah, you can't get that. And nice little block off from Sally. Look at this. He has his light cav on stand ground. And look how many bowyars he's been able to kill. Still kind of waiting for Gray, to send in a wave. He's about to. Alright. So very few people are on Gray's team. I think that's just because he's played it standard, you know? People, they get fans because people do different things, not necessarily because of successful things. I think maybe you guys could tell me why you think the way you think, but I think that's the reason, right? Probably. We might have some Texas fans. I know that the Legends of Texas video was probably near the top of the list of favorite videos of all times for fans, so... Man, these wood lines, these trees are so good for the Rattans. They can't be surrounded. Yeah, that was just a huge waste of bowyars, but with some siege, of course, the Rattans get flattened. Filster says, I'm a Legend of Infoboat fan. Does that have anything to do with the fact that Infoboat plays with you a lot and always says that you're going to be the next legend? Maybe a little, Filster. Maybe a little. Which is totally cool. Infoboat's king is safe, and Gray has run right into his base. And Gray's just trying to kill his gold workshops, which is a smart move. It's worth it to just kill one here, but he's not going to. He will fail. Oh! Oh god! Oh, okay, never mind. False alarm. It's fine. T90 fine. I thought the king was in that castle. It's in this castle. I'm surprised that T was able to kill that. Jeez. Is he gonna finish that off? Yeah, he is. It just goes to show you light cav with very little upgrades does nothing versus bowyars. He needs his rats and archers here, man. His rats and archers have stopped. So Gray is starting to push Infoboat, and Infoboat says, I have no idea what I'm doing. He probably is caught in two minds. He doesn't know where to go exactly, right? That would make sense, because Gray's attacking him. He has still been attacking the two in the south. This is pretty much what the Texans wanted. They wanted Gray to do this. Now, Infovote wants is for Blue to surprise Gray, but Blue has been ordered to wait. But maybe also because I feel that video in itself should have been The Legend of Infobote and Philster, not Eli. T90 Salt. Can we get the T90 Salt in the chat for Philster? That's funny. Philster, I'll be honest, I don't really remember your contributions. Oh, I do remember your contributions in that game. But yeah, I think it would have been disrespectful to Eli to not give him a legend title after that. Like you built a lot of castles, but you would be a legend every single time you played if that was the requirement, you know? Oof. Now Wild Beast says, yo, you want me to attack him now? Infobote says, Gray, he's killing me now. Alright, get on the ram train, baby. Get on the ram train. He says, okay, I will attack them. I have a feeling Gray would just steamroll this, but let's go, Wild Beast. Twitch chat, can we get the let's goes going? We need to give him some type of energy here. Infobote, he's struggling to push and to defend at the same time. He needs Blue to go for it. He said, don't expect me to win, but it might distract. What an honorable guy. Come on, Wild Beast. Garrison those pointy boys up. Let's get the boys in here, as Dave would say. Alright, buddy, you can do it, man. You can do it. Infobote really just needed a few siege workshops to build onagers. Can you imagine? These Ratons would have died a long time ago, but you know, he's done a great job this game to fight everywhere, let's be honest. He has lost a lot of his castles. Wild Beast has some Teuton scouts! Let's go! Teuton scouts! Send in everything! Send in everything you got! Wild Beast changes wasted NL to enemy, so Gray should see this. And Teutons only get capped rams. He has all the halberdier upgrades. He actually has all the scout upgrades. Will Gray survive this? Sally says, how do you have this much gold? Infobote says prostitution. Sally says, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I'm so judgmental. Oh my god. Infobote is great. Alright, so the capped rams, they continue, but Gray sees this, and here come the bowyars. Which is pretty expected. Ariane says, well, to be fair, Infobote, you are as faithful as a prostitute. You know, this game, like the actual game itself might not be YouTube worthy, but the chat definitely is. The chat definitely is. Oh my god. Sally says T90 burn. Yeah, we don't have T90 burn emote, but maybe we need to add that. I think we just got demonetized, boys. I think we just lost our monetization on Twitch and YouTube. That was pretty good though. That was a pretty quick comeback from Ariane. I mean, this guy's trying to reboom and he's being killed off, and he still thought of that. Blue is joining the fight with the scouts in the south. It's like, oh, you have bowyars and it's not working? Let me send some Teuton scouts in. And I'm gonna grab this little stick and just whack these guys. Don't need swords. That is what the scouts have, right? Little sticks? I'm not even sure. It's like whap, whap, whap. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but you know, I could tell you Wild Beast is pushing. Wild Beast is actually having success here. Look! And you know, the crazy thing is his wasted talent is already a 200 population. It's just, does he have too many vills? Yeah, he only has room for 50 military. He might have too many vills. So in real life, having too many vills does just kind of clog the streets, but you can still send those vills to military. In Age of Empires, that's not how it works. So for whatever reason, you have to delete your villagers in Age of Empires and then train new units, and Gray's downfall might be the fact that he hasn't deleted his economy. And now I can say the beast is wild.
Here's a tip. Since the YouTube video will be demonetized, please call it the Legend of Legend's Grass Dort.
Digital, thank you for the tip, man. Yeah, that'll help out with the fact that I won't get any ad revenue. Sally's still holding on! What is this game? This is a commie game if I've ever seen one. Wild Beast, coming out of nowhere with the pointy boy spam. The king for Gray is right here, but more importantly, or maybe not more importantly, but second on the list of importance is the fact that his gold income is here. If he loses 5 trade gold workshops, I don't think he'll be able to keep up with Infoboat, and Infoboat is still holding in this massive fight in the south. This is a crazy game. This whole game has been legendary. I think every player that remains could, like, they played well enough to become a legend. Crazy. Preludes and official Barbecue Python. Thank you guys for the new subs. Barbecue Python, thank you for the tip earlier again, man. Glad you could. I guess you figured out the sub thing, right? Was it you that said you couldn't figure out the sub? I think that was you. Man, the king now runs for Gray. He's on the move, but it's the gold workshops that's the problem. Blue has 0 gold workshops. Wasted Talent has a ton. But he's going to lose at least 1 here. Now, he really just needed some Scorpions or needed some Siege Onagers, so he's adding that now. I don't think he'll be defeated, but he's slightly weaker now because he's losing these workshops. And meanwhile, Infoboat just needs to get some of his own siege workshops down here so he can make rams and onagers, man. Imagine 10 onagers against these ratons. That would be a juicy shot. And Infoboat says, oh goodness, you're back, Arion. Of course he's back. He's not the legend of Texas for being a scrub. This guy's a beast.
This is such a good match diplomatically. Happy I tuned in. T90 hype 12 month.
You know, I think we need to find a different term for Arion and for Sally. They can't be beast. I think Wild Beast is the only one who's been beastly enough to get that title, so they've been an animal, let's put it that way. More gold workshops going down. More pointy boys coming in for Wild Beast. This is some crazy pointy boy spam. I don't know who's going to win this game. I have no clue what direction this is going to go. And sure, this has been a very long game, but it's been an impressive game. Arion says, honestly, Infoboat, you're the one keeping me going. I really want you to lose. Well, those are fighting words right there. But I don't think that surprises anyone. You know, just like I say many times, I think what pushes players on is revenge in a way, right? And Arion feels like Infoboat shouldn't have attacked him earlier. Infoboat made the mistake to let him leave. See, this... I think there's a quote from Genghis Khan. It could be total bullshit and someone just made it up, but as far as I know, Genghis Khan, when he would go on his raids, it would kill all humans. They'd kill kids, they'd kill women, they'd kill men, and Genghis Khan's reasoning was because he didn't want someone to turn into himself, because Genghis Khan turned into who he was because he saw his parents killed. Well, I don't know, maybe there's a similar thing going on here with Arion, right? Infoboat should have just killed Arion. Should have made sure that there was no one to remember those days, and then turn around and counter. Very different situations, of course, comparing video games to real life, but you get what I'm saying. We do not have Mongols here. Mongols was available, by the way. Mongols was available. We had Mongols, we had Koreans, we had Vietnamese, we had Slavs, we had Teutons. I think Hank tried to choose... Hank tried to choose civilizations that are more commie, I guess. Okay, so Wild Beast has stalled out a little bit, but look what Infoboat. Look at Infoboat. Infoboat, the man just will not stop. Yeah, it's all civs known from communist backgrounds. Correct. Correct, man. Hey, Shifty Bloke, thank you for the 5, man. Yeah, this is a great diplomacy game. It's always a great diplomacy game when we have Ariane and Sally involved. Perhaps this is a time to tease something that will likely be happening on the 1st of December. One of the best regicide events that I've ever organized, and we've seen 2 of them previously. One of those games will have a Legends game, and one of those games will be invite only, and I'm hoping to speak to a few of these guys that I would consider the best of the very best when it comes to community games. And we'll see what happens. I'm sure it'll cause quite a rumble. That's all I'll say. Oh god, the onagers! The onagers, fire! These poor rats and archers. Yeah, the sad thing is, they didn't even have a choice in the matter. You know, they had to go out here. Oh, man. Goodness, that's a lot of onagers. They're not even siege onagers, and they're, of course, going to do well. How's Wild Beast doing? Wild Beast, still pretty wild! Still pretty wild! He's not finished yet, ladies. He's not finished yet. And there's 2 more gold workshops you could kill here. Wow. I just don't have any words. Are there trees left to chop? There's some trees here. I guess, yeah, there's plenty of wood. I thought that wood would become an issue, and I was wrong. Gray's pop is still solid, but he's getting less and less gold now because of the lack of gold workshops. Infoboat says, how you doing, Wild Beast? Wild Beast is losing but killing some workshops. And Infoboat's gonna offer him help. Oh! So Infoboat will try and hold the South versus the Texans. And if he just holds here, they might be able to finish off Gray. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god! Not the rats and archers! Sally! Oh my goodness! That's a huge shot. Imagine if these were siege onagers. It'd be even crazier. He does have the right idea, though, to mix in the bombard cannons to snipe these. But it's obviously not... It's easier said than done, right? It's easier said than done. Is Gray killing blue in top corner? Yeah, yes, he is. But I believe in the beast. I think that Gray will have to come back to defend himself if Infoboat arrives, right? So, blue might take losses, but what the heck is he losing anyway? He doesn't have a gold workshop. He has the resources to make these pointy boys for a long time, so. And Gray's losing castles in the meantime. Crazy, guys. Crazy. So I'm gonna make a guess here. I'm gonna make a guess, okay? Now, before I say this, just to make it very clear, I could be wrong. But this is what I expect. And I think a lot of people will be okay with this. I think that Infoboat will go in and he'll damage Gray a bit more. And I think that Wild Beast will be back with the spam in a few minutes. I think that Infoboat is going to fail against the 2 Texans in the south. Seems like that's the way this is going. And with Gray weakened, and with Infoboat then out of position, it's possible that the Texans could actually do this. And blue is pretty much just along for the ride for all of this. Now, I say that, and as I say that, I kind of disagree with my own point. I think Infoboat realizes how big of a threat these guys are, so he won't go towards Gray yet. Or at least not with all of his military, he'll come down here. But we'll see. Really could use an onager shot or 2. And he gets in with the bowyards, and that's a great surround. You know, the bombard cannons are the real issue for him. He needs to kill the bombard cannons so the onagers can kill the rats and archers. And he's going to get another big shot. He's going to get a huge shot, and he should fire. And the Ratsens can't really run anyway. Come on, Infoboat. I've just built up the hype, man. I just built up the hype for your onager. Alright, no hype needed. No onager needed. He cleans it up anyway. So, Gray's getting hit. I think what Infoboat needed was to send his Boyards here. But geez, what a game. And now we are at 3 hours in. And now we're getting to the point where, yeah, this could be one of the longest games we've casted. Could I get a favor from those watching on the stream? Could you pull up the Legends of Texas video and just see how long that lasted? I think it was about 2.5 hours, right? Something like that. Just to compare it. I'm wondering. Yeah, hopefully this won't be 13 hours, like the one game I have to cast for YouTube. Hopefully not. I'm gonna just take this moment to say that, because this has been crazy and I haven't had too much time to really talk to you guys as a whole. Thank you guys for being here today. Thank you for showing up. I know I switched the community game day rounds on you, but it's crazy to have so many people here. It's so much fun for me, and especially when you guys are so invested into it, it's great. Also, thank you for being a good sport with all this, because it could be quite easily taken the wrong way. We're just trying to have a little bit of fun. Ariane says, oh, hold on, we gotta catch up on the chat. Wild Beast, you are the one chosen by the Force. Don't go to the dark side. You need to betray Infoboat. I'm glad T90 is making this community game on a Friday. I would have to leave. And Wild Beast says same. Now Wild Beast said same to everybody. And Infoboat says what? Like, what are you talking about? Sally now says this is getting really tedious. Texas was 2 hours, 40 minutes? Okay. Thank you, Rupert. Thank you, Zez. Thank you, Digital. Thank you, everybody. So we passed that point. And we still have 5 people left. Yeah, Odoa, community games will be on Fridays from here on out, man. I just feel like it's better for everybody. T90 Official, what is your favorite book? Well, I don't read much, but one of my favorite books is probably Hatchet, which is a book I read when I was younger. Highly recommend for those that haven't read it. Then there's, I think, Brian's Winter, which is an extension of that book. And then there's Brian's Summer or something, I forget. But Gary Paulson is the author, and he has a few books, and it's a really good book. I actually, when I was a kid, I got Gary Paulson's autograph, which nowadays, like, it's not anything like me because I don't really read, but I went in and I got the author of the book's autograph. Yo, Infoboat, Wild Beast told us he's getting ready to betray you. Care, man. Oh my god, Arion just flat out lying about this. Arion just flat out lying. He's saying that Wild Beast is getting ready to attack Infoboat, which is not the case, according to the chat. Arion just lying. And now Infoboat says, Arion is telling me you'll betray me. I trust you, man. Remember our love, Wild Beast. So Infoboat does not turn on Wild Beast.
I know you want me.
And he says, like, listen, I trust you. So that's a good thing for Infoboat to say because he can't be sure, right? But he's just saying, like, we have love here. Don't ruin a good thing. And now this is not looking as good for the Texans because more people want to attack them. I just wonder if we'll get to the point where Gray will actually ally Infoboat and ally Blue to finish off these pesky, pesky Texans in the south. I actually like this. Cape Man says T90, all Diplo games we have should not allow cartography. I kind of agree with that. I think what makes this game so great, well, first of all, you gotta credit the players. All of these players have been amazing with their diplomacy decisions, but also the lack of carto for allies makes it interesting. So maybe we can do that in the future. It's kind of opened my eyes, right? So at this point, Arion has told about 3 or 4 bold-faced lies. For some of us, that's great, because we need that character. You know, we need someone who has the guts to do that. For others, we might have more respect for our allies, and we might not be okay with how he's doing it. But keep in mind, without Arion doing this, this game would not be as entertaining. And he says, be careful, Wild Beast. He is getting ready. Now, I don't even think Wild Beast believes him. You know, like, that's the second attempt. Arion is bluffing, he's lying, and he's acting as if Infobot is going to attack him. But Wild Beast is having none of that, man. And he's going to spam Halberdiers towards the Texans in the bottom. That's hilarious, man. Good point from Mac Mouse. So, you look at people like Snippy, you look at people like Blue Coffee, you look at all of these guys who are really well known in community games, guys. And why are they not, well, Blue Coffee's the only exception, but why are the Super Liscos, the Roaches, the Snippies of the world not having as much success in community games nowadays? Because when they first started, they were killing everybody and surprising everyone. Well, the reason is because they started playing a lot of games, people realized how they act, and then they never trust them. Now, the Legends of Texas, they're relatively new to the scene in comparison to some of those other guys I mentioned. So I think that as time goes on, Sally and Arion will not be trusted as much because of how, you know, we have 1,200 people here watching them do this type of thing, right? And this, I hate to pump them up, but, well, no, I don't hate to pump them up. This just makes Blue Coffee more brilliant. Because Blue Coffee's strategies they've been known for well over a year, and every time Blue Coffee decides to show up, he gets a victory in an amazing fashion. So, I haven't seen Blue Coffee around in a while, but just get some just passings in the chat and dedication for that guy. Because I don't know how he does it. So, Arion's still typing. I should probably stop talking and just read this. He says, he's trying to turn us against each other. Really be careful, Wild Beast. He's getting ready. Infobot says, so I'm dead again. Why is he dead again? He's fine. He's fine. But he's asking for help. Did I miss? What happened here? That's gray. Did blue? Wait, hold on. I think there's a lot of... I don't think there's as much honesty as I would like here. Did he betray you? I'm still out of the game. So Arion's talking to Infobot. Infobot says, yes, he betrayed me, but who betrayed you? Blue? I think Blue's coming to help you. I hope that there's no drop. Cross your fingers, because if there's a drop here, I might... I'd be very upset. Who was the host of this game? Host of this game was Sally. Sally did not die, so unless the internet dropped or something, then should be okay. Let me message the players quickly. See what's going on. I saw T90 content from YouTube and just had to pay a visit. Welcome, MB. So, whoa! The game just froze. Okay. So, they're trying to continue. And did Gray drop? Okay, 20-year-old game can make things complicated sometimes. Fingers crossed nobody drops, because I think that everybody needs to stay in this game. Infobot says help, wealth. Maybe he's trying to ask a helpful elf for help. But, he's fine. I think he just wanted blue here. He was freaking out, you know? He's put a lot of effort into this. He's fine. So, false alarm, I guess. Nobody dropped. But Infobot is getting hit from this side. Maybe that's his concern. And, you know, Gray... he hasn't been doing much. He's making his own pointy boys now. And I guess, yeah, we have 3 people converging towards Infobot. And then we have Infobot and Wild Beast. T90 official, are you watching the World Chess Championships? No, I'm not into chess myself. So, wouldn't be for me. Infobot's lying. Wait. Infobot's lie was so good that it actually confused me. And I just realized he's lying. He was screaming out for help like, help me, but he's fine. He's a 225 pop. He has all of his workshops. He just told everybody that he doesn't have them. And he says, let's go for Gray. He's winning. Everyone mobilized. He doesn't want to deal with the Legends of Texas. He's telling the Legends of Texas that he lost his workshop, so they don't attack him. And Arion says, do you think we care? And Infobolt goes out on the limb here, and he actually allies them. Let's see if the bluff works. No change of stance yet from Sally and Arion. No change of stance, more units running forward. And Infobolt still has them as ally? He does. Okay, now he changes them back to enemy because he knows the trick has not worked. Wow, that would have been so good. And oh, Arion brings it up. He says, sorry, Mr. Fake Legend. I'm going to destroy you now. So earlier in the game, let's just bring people up to speed. Earlier in the game, Infobolt said, let's kill these fake legends in reference to the players who were in the south. He got to their base, destroyed most of their base, then let them live, and allied them so he could kill Gray. Then it took a long time, but the Legends of Texas made it back to Infobolt. Infobolt realizes it's a problem, lies and says that he's been killed off by somebody, and that he doesn't have any gold income. Then he appeals to the Legends of Texas and says, listen, Gray's really strong, which was part of the lie. Let's team up on Gray. And then, as you could just see there, Arion says, I'm going to destroy you now. And he calls him a fake legend. And he says, and it's going to be, not only is he going to destroy him, but he says it's going to be the highlight of my day. I hope these guys actually like each other. Like, these games are super personal, man. Super personal. There's so much heat behind these words. I'm going to burn right up. Goodness. This is better than any AoE zone drama I've ever read. And that's saying something. Whew! And this is arguably better when it comes to drama than the Legends of Texas video. This is pretty wild. I love Master Arion and I wish to serve him forever. Write that and I may help you. Oh! Infobolt says, I love the French. Arion is French. And Infobolt says, and Mr. Arion. Wait, is he? Let me double check. Is Arion French? Yeah, he is. And then he says something in French. So that's bonus points for me. Because he just said, I love Arion in French. That's bonus points. So let's see, will they ally now?
2222.
The king is Arion, that's the translation? Okay. Well, Arion has not been attacking him any longer. Sally is, though. Good God, this game. Like, Wild Beast is back. Good God, what a game.
Story. Last week I went on a date with a T90 babe. After we got back home things got heated and I put my hands under her skirt and it felt like I was feeding a horse. MFW.
What did I just hear? We're gonna just continue. So, Sally says I'm going for his main eco. Where... Okay, so he's talking about Infoboat's eco. And Infoboat's still pleading. He's like, the law is you, Arion. The law is you. Arion. But he needs Sally in on it. This is a true relationship. You can't just ask one person and think it's okay. You have to get both people involved. I actually haven't heard anything from Arion since that those words were uttered from Infoboat. But is it obvious to you guys just how strong Slavs is in comparison to Vietnamese? Because Infoboat has held on time and time again. It's crazy. Which makes me think, why has Gray not been pushing? Like, I really think Gray should have done more this game. He might be in a safe position, but he could have killed Infoboat. Let's look at the achievements quickly. Look at the KD for... Oh, actually, Gray's really high. Never mind. crazy how many kills they have there. Over 3,000. That is 10 kills a minute. Wait, that just... No, it's not, but let's continue. I'm going to try and snipe Gray's workshops. So, Wild Beast is going to try and snipe the workshops from Gray. So he's still on Team Infoboat. Gray is the king of the northwest-ish. In the south, we have Ariane and Sally. Trying to make some comparisons to Game of Thrones, but failing, obviously. If this was Game of Thrones, Shocker would be Ned Stark. Shocker would be Ned Stark. Actually, I just spoiled it for people who haven't seen Game of Thrones, but sorry. In my defense, I already knew that prior to watching Game of Thrones myself. And if you don't know by now, I probably shouldn't be held accountable for it. Infoboat finally loses that castle. He loses it to the champions from to the halberdiers from Wasted Talent. Blue is here, but Blue's just passing, you know, he's not... This is kind of funny, like... The Wild Beast is just letting Infoboat clean up his own problems, and I guess he wants to loop around and go for the blue coffee move of just passing into Gray's base again. How is the wood situation? Well, there's plenty of wood. I just don't think players have lumberjacks. Let's look at the resources. Infoboat, he does have lumberjacks. He doesn't have lumberjacks, but he has 10,000 wood. You look at Gray, he has 10,000 wood. Way more food. You look at Purple, he has some wood problems, but he has lumberjacks. Mainly gold. And then you look at Sally, and he has wood problems, but he can chop some wood. And he has food and gold. I mean, this is a real commie game right here, guys. This is... I guess we're talking about Commie Nothing. This is what we should expect. Very stubborn play. Very hard to break them down. Wait, I missed this again. Ariane said, damn, you really... Wait. I gotta work my whole way up the chat here. We missed a bunch of stuff. They're chatting so much. The law is you are... Okay, I have a feeling that some of this... My chat is definitely going to be like 18 plus only after this game. I'm going to skip some of this. You can read it for yourself. I'm not going to say this out loud. I don't know if there's children in the background. Not going to say that out loud. Infoboat says, you're cute, Ariane. I just want to be like you one day. This is a while ago. Ariane says, Infoboat really is a prostitute. Sally says, no need to be accusatory. Infoboat says, shut up! I would refuse you as a client! Oh my god. And for Ariane, it's past midnight, so it's PG-18. That's hilarious. Oh. This is funny, man. This is funny.
Just checking out Twitch for the first time and wanted to say thanks for your great YouTube comment.
This is some entertaining chat, man. I would like to see the players progress a little bit, and it seems like they finally are progressing towards Infoboat. Which is, he's going to be the hardest person to kill, simply because he has more trade workshops, more wood. But he's down to 160 pop, and that's not like any situation he's been in before. So he could perhaps be in trouble here. But here he comes. How many times have we seen this? He arrives with more. And also, the Wild Beast is here to help. So I think Wild Beast and Infoboat can maybe hold on here for a little while longer. MB Gwins, thank you very much for not only the sub, but the $5, man. He said just checking out Twitch for the first time, and wanted to say thanks for the great YouTube content. You are welcome, man. You're welcome. Monkey D, thank you again for the 3. Well, I guess I didn't truly thank you because your message was weird, but thank you for the 3. Superlative Chrono, thank you for the 2. Oh, and I missed, somebody donated $5 and said pizza, and the message was, I know you want me. Yeah, I definitely want some pizza right now, but I'm gonna hold off. We got some games to cast, okay? What I am gonna do is just chug some water real quick. I haven't done it all day. All right, that can last me a couple more hours. Still no clue who's gonna win this game. Still no clue who's gonna win this game. I can tell you that it's probably not gonna be Wild Beast. If we had Vegas odds, you'd probably want to put some money down on Wild Beast because you get a huge return on your investment. That's the goal right there, guys. That's the goal. To get Age of Empires 2 community games up to the point where we can have Vegas get involved. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Obviously unrealistic. Infoboat says, blue help. And Sally says there's no need for help. And now Arion says, Gray, open the wall. Why does he say that? Wild Beast is signaling 5 idols of Infoboat. Infoboat's a bit distracted right now. I think Infoboat's gonna die. Guys, he doesn't have the food. He only has 100 food. And you can't build a market in this. So you can't buy with the gold you have. He's going to lose another gold workshop to the light cav of Arion. I think that Infoboat is finally going to crumble. And there might be some salt. Okay, I think the workshop stays up, but it's close to going down. I'm not sure what we'll do next, Scrim. It's hard for me to want to do another nothing map when this one is lasted. I mean, I know this wasn't a true nothing map, but this has been a long game, so I might want to mix it up. What episode would we be in right now? What season would we be in if this was Game of Thrones? We'd have to be around season 4 or 5, surely. Ah, Lindy. I think sudden death would be something that'd be... We haven't done that enough. So, possibly. Possibly. Thank you for the idea. Season 27? Season 56, episode 143. Yeah, well, it's been quite an eventful game. But you can tell... Whoa, 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 whoa! Arion! I poured my heart and soul into this cast. He said, too bad Dave is not casting this game. I would love to hear him. Well, that's cool. But I'm reading this right now. You know Dave's not there. Just tell him later. Say, hey, Dave, I wish you would have casted that with T90. It would have been really cool. Don't say that. That's offensive, man. Infoboat says, blue, we're dying. Well, if we could get some T90 salt in the chat. Because Arion just ruins my will to cast this game. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm only 2% salty. I had to calculate that. Only 2%. I can agree that having Dave here would have made it fun. I can agree. Watching the VOD of Texas game was the best. Yeah, he's remembering the cast. He's almost reminiscing like someone would do before they die. You know, like his conversations... These are conversations that you have before the game ends for you. I don't know if that's the case for Arion. Infoboat says, Dave is a noob. I can get on board with that. Blue, we're dying. You wannabe. Who's he saying the wannabe to? Is he saying that... I'm not sure. Infoboat seems a bit salty. And Arion says, can the chat spam T90 salt for Infoboat? There you go, chat. If you don't want to do it because I said it, do it because Arion said it about Infoboat. That's amazing. He must watch my content enough to know what I would say. Of course, if you're not a sub, you can toss in a PJ salt there. That's acceptable. Just... Yeah, I think the game is over for Infoboat. And Blue, he kind of chose the honorable side, but the wrong side to survive, right? I mean, maybe he can survive, but... Because they really have nothing against Blue. But choosing Infoboat was the wrong play. T90 official, watch your content or stream sniping. Nah, not worth bringing it up, man. Not worth bringing it up. There's so many things that I've said in this game, and I've never had any indication that there was a snipe incoming. There was a stream snipe. Not even worth bringing that up. Wodecat, Lumen, thank you guys for the Prime sub. I think Infoboat just can't survive because of the lack of food. And Gray says, why are you attacking me, Orange? Are they attacking each other? Orange says, I do? Where? Oh, Infoboat has made an announcement to the people. He says, I will surrender. Just leave Wild Beast alone, heart. Promise me, guys. Promise me. Wild Beast is unscathed. Well, that's quite a promise because they're going to have to eventually kill him. You have to scathe him to win the game yourself. They have not responded to Infobolt, who has played really well. Remember, he was over 3,000 kills last time we checked, and he's probably at around, well, he's well over 4,000 now. They've not responded to Infobolt. They're not really in a position to respond because they'll kill him anyway. But Infoboat's going to keep trying here, survive a bit longer, and get them to agree to this.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if you noticed, but Arion says, so love, what do we do? And he's talking to, of course, Sally. Infoboat says, I won't resign before you pledge me that you won't attack Wild Beast. Only then. Leave him be. So say what you want about the salt of Infoboat, but he's a man of character. And Wild Beast says, I love you, Infoboat. Don't leave me. Oh, God. This is too much, man. I didn't know I needed tissues for this cast. God. Oh. Ally them, wildebeest. Don't let them die for nothing. I loved you. I vouched for you. Arion's like, this is getting emotional. Oh, man. So much heart. So much heart put into a video game that's 20 years old. That is why Age of Empires 2 is timeless. And Infoboat's like on the brink of death. You know, he's been stabbed in the chest. And he knows the end is near. And he says, Wild Beast, respond, please. I think he's saying it's Wild Beast, right? He just says, bye. Oh, wait, where's his king? Where's his king? His king's here. Wild Beast says, Infobolt says, this too shall pass, and he resigns! 3 hours and 40 minutes in, he gives it up. Oh my goodness. Well, better love story than Twilight there, but we have yet to see the love bloom between Sally and Arion. Or the love has already bloomed, but we haven't seen it continue. So Sally immediately gets to typing. He says, alright, time for post-war settlement. And Arion says, alright, I allied Wild Beast. So they've agreed, I guess, to ally Wild Beast. So now that would make it a 3v1 versus Gray, right? This game is 4 hours already. Now Gray says, kill Blue, he is the traitor. Oh, that's not gonna go over well. You just chose the wrong thing to say. If you wanted to test the waters, you could be like, do you guys trust Blue? But to just flat out say, kill Blue, he's a traitor, after all that? I don't know, man. That's probably a mistake. Arion says, we made a promise not to kill him. I never come back on my words. I made a promise to a man. Yo. Arion is the freaking best, man. I think he's right, though. I don't think he's ever lied. Wait, no. He lied, but he didn't go back on his word. There's a difference. So when he tells people he's going to do something, he does it. But he did say things that were not really happening. Like, Infoboat, if you're watching earlier when Arion was saying that Blue was going to attack you, that was not the case. Sally says, Gray, there's no need to hold grudges or the cycle will never end. Arion says, I made a promise to a man, but at the same time I cannot attack you, Gray. Without you, Infoboat would have won. Are they gonna have like a 4-person Romeo and Juliet situation where they just kill themselves together? So I have a proposition. You all know what it is. He's gonna say it, isn't he? Let's make an arena and treb each other's kings. Oh my god. I can't look at anything else. I can't look at anything else. Nothing else is important. All eyes are on the chat. Gray just won't listen. Ooh. Oh, Gray is being the odd man out here. So I really like that Ariane is saying this. And I'm not just saying it because it's a dramatic ending, but it actually makes sense. The reason that Ariane and Sally became legends to begin with is because they fought together and they recognized that they would not have gotten to where they were in life if it wasn't for their ally. And then they could never feel right attacking the person that helped them. And so as Ariane said, they made an agreement not to kill Blue, but at the same time, they don't feel okay killing Gray because Gray did really help them with killing Infoboat, who is their enemy. Sally says, I think we can take this fight as 3v1. After all, Blue is our ally. And oh, hold on, Gray might not have heard the message. You might have lost your carrier pigeon there, Ariane. Gray says, what is your plan? And Ariane's repeating himself now. I want to make an arena. We put all kings in it, and we play a treb game. I like to shift to the top of the map. I don't know if that helps you guys, but it helps me read the text. Nothing's really happening, so let's just stay up there for now. I'm tense, man. Yeah, okay, Sally and Ariane want to know. Is that okay with you? And then Ariane says, are you fine with that, Blue? I don't think they have chat on for those guys.
Switch to Voobly. Praise the sun.
I don't think they have the chat on for those guys, because those guys don't seem to get the message. So they might need to double check here. Make sure that they have them selected. We'd end this with a mini game and not with fighting. We treb each other king in an arena. Wild Beast says, I don't mind. Gray is bent out of shape because Blue attacked him. Okay, so maybe there needs to be a fight between Blue and Gray first to settle that score, and then the rest go into an arena. But Sally and Ariane, they're asking for peace. In Commie Nothing. Ally each other, please. If I lose patience, I'm killing everyone except my wife. Oh, jeez. That's more like it. This has been a long game, man. This has been a long game. Yeah, they're probably getting their legal teams involved, looking at, all the financial side of things, if they do this. Also, I'm the only one with gold, so don't make me use it. Oh, so he went from, let's all love each other, to a war cry. That was a war cry, and Gray will not respond. And Ariane's like, why aren't they talking? And Ariane's like, we're gonna kill Gray. I'm sick of this guy. And Sally says, I'm in. And Blue's probably like, I can't really do much, but I'm glad I'm still alive. Okay. And Blue, yeah, Blue's like, I'm fine with that. That sounds good. Blue's like the guy in the group that doesn't really have a say. He doesn't have any pulling power. He's just like, yeah. Whatever you guys want to do, that's cool. Oh, you want to do that? Yeah, let's do that. He wants to make sure he's involved. Sally says, I'll march on his base straight. And Blue, he does have champions and halbs here. I don't know if Gray's doing this intentionally to mind game or what. Because he says, you making an arena, I allied. So he's acting like he's doing the plan.
The most infamous of boats. The man, the myth, the legend, ankle. Infamous boat, the most equal boat. Apparently your Diplo didn't win you the game. T90 cry, T90 cry. But know this, the community loves you. Communist Diplo 11.
Yes.
I gotta figure this out, chat. I gotta figure this out. So Gray, he was a little bit late, but he has now allied Blue. And they're gonna make the arena. They're gonna make the arena. Wait! Wait! Wild Beast! He's having none of it! Wild Beast says, screw love! I want war! And so he's fighting. And so now he says, help me. But who made this switch first there? Oh, wait. No, I think it was Gray. Gray made the switch. Gray switched first. Okay, that makes more sense anyhow. And Blue's King is right here. Sally says, I've had enough. Sally and Ariane, they made a promise to Infoboat before he died. They have to live up to that promise. And Sally says, I'm marching on his base right now. And Ariane's saying, survive Blue. But Blue, like, his king's here. He's trapped, man. So Gray is the odd man out here. Some shit's about to go down. Now, luckily, Blue is Teutons, and he has murder holes. He also could make a few Teutonic Knights, but as you can see, not a great situation for him. Man, this game is just great. Banana, Arcamus, Jonesy, thank you guys. We had Archkook with the 2-month resub. Glad that Voobly's there for you, man. Glad you got it set up. It could be a pain to set up, but once you're there, you're normally golden. Thank you, bro. And Eldry, that donation was hilarious. 22 bucks, too. Wow. He said, Infoboat is the man, the myth, the leg end, and then ankle. For those on YouTube, they're making that joke because my legend emote is leg end. You know, it's like how it's split up. And Arian said, I only made the promise not to attack you. Survive yourself. Oh! Yeah, right. Survive, Blue. Blue, I won't help you. I only made the promise not to attack you. Survive yourself. So he's...
How was your improv? Can you show us some of your talent?
Arian is actually living up to the promise he made. He did not promise to save Blue. He promised not to attack him. And in his defense, he said this to Blue. So he told Blue the situation. So it wasn't like he just let Blue die. So I can respect that. Here come the rats and archers. Here come the bombard cannons. And here come the pointy boys, all going towards Gray, of course. Gray, he's the strongest player in the game still, I think, because he's Slavs and because he has all these castles and he has the workshops. Gray does not kill Blue. Blue will survive here. So Wild Beast might make it to the arena, which is partially built now because it's been disrupted by war. This has been a sick game. Like, in the beginning, I will say that it was a little bit tough. I love you, chat. You know I do. But it was a little bit tough to get people to not take it so seriously. And perhaps it was not the best idea for me to ever do this as a popular content creator. However, despite all of that, we got here, and this was... I'm really happy we got here, because this is really good. This is an awesome game, man. And normally a 4-hour game drags on. Normally a 4-hour game makes me, like, want to snore. But because of Infoboat, Sally, Arion, Wild Beast, and Wasted NL, this has been a legendary game for sure. And I don't even know what type of title... I suppose I shouldn't worry about it right now, but I don't even know what type of title this game deserves. Seeing as technically it was a nothing map. At least that was the original name. And this is legend worthy. If Wild Beast, I will promise you, if Wild Beast wins this game by sniping, not by a trebuchet game, If he wins this game by sniping, he will be an instant legend. But he doesn't have a chance. So I think this is going to be a collective effort in the end. Assuming Gray does not win here. Because Gray could, but it's just not looking likely right now. Alright, so I'm trying to follow the chat. Sally says, I'm already attacking Gray, just hang on. It will take me forever to push him out of my base, is what Arion says. Okay, so Gray has a lot of economy over here, and I guess this is currently what Arion's dealing with. Okay, that makes sense. Gray's also spamming from his buildings on the right-hand side, so it's a bit awkward. He's not really able to reinforce in his base. And if you compare this to how Infobo... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Scary moments. Wow, what a play from Sally. If you compare this to how Infobo would have reacted, Infobo would have had Boyars, and I think that would have been enough. But for some reason, Gray must not have faith in them. Well, down goes the castle. And this game just continues to get crazier and crazier, but I think we might be building up towards that love triangle. Blue's still alive. He's not really making a push to win the game because he just can't. Blue did make an agreement with the Legends of Texas that he would stick with them. And he probably respects the fact that Arion told him that he wasn't going to be able to help. And I think the end has got to be near for Gray, right? Like, he needs something now. His gold workshops is what brings him in gold. His castles he needs for Boyars. Guys, there's quite a few people asking questions about either the game in general or, you know, just various things. I promise you, I will get to those questions after this match because this match is getting real interesting now. Alright, not the prettiest micro we've ever seen from Sally, but at least he microed and realized the situation. Gray's gonna hold on. Gray's gonna hold on. He'll kill the bombard cannons. But he's only holding on there. And he's still getting pushed now by Arion, who again does not have a lot of gold. He's just going with pointy boys and skirms and light cav. Okay, so what do you think, guys? Let's just talk hypotheticals, okay? Gray seems to be doing alright. He still has gold workshops. Let's just say for a second that Gray holds on versus the two Texans or whatever, right? Just say he does. What should Blue do? If you're Blue, you've pretty much been riding on the coattails of all other players for the entire game. However, if you think back, who was the one who killed Blue? It was Arion. It was 30 minutes into this 4-hour game, but it was Arion who did it. And Arion was ruthless. So, does Blue try to snipe Arion? He definitely can't speak to Sally about it. Sally is blinded by love. Sally's gonna tell Arion, but should Blue try, or should he just go down fighting against Gray, who's also attacked him, and then in the end take the deal for the arena? Darkest, thank you for the 3-month resub, man. Herbertoni, thank you for 6. No, man, I can't show you any of my improv talent. It's gonna be hard to show you, I think, on the stream, but it might help me improvise a bit with the cast. I was glad I could do that, though. That's a lot of elephants right there. Vietnamese elephants aren't too shabby, just very expensive. They will die to pointy boys, but I think if you have rats and archers and you have the elephants, it can work. Hard to calculate how this fight will go. Oh, Gray is still alive over here. They just need to kill trade workshops from Gray. Killing castles is not that helpful because in this, castles are 800 gold, right? So it's better to commit and kill the gold workshops because you can't regain gold workshops now. Wild Beast Arena Betrayal. Oh, that'd be an idea. Like run in last second with cav archers and betray. That would be a real plot twist at the end. Yeah, okay, Barbecue Python's thinking go with Scout Snipe. How many kills does Gray have in this game? Only 4,000. It's really not that much. Not a lot of kills at all. Closing in on 5,000. We'll probably get there, regardless of how this ends, because he has so many units. And, whew, I mean, Sally and Arion are 2v1ing him, and it's not troubling him much anymore. Maybe they needed forward production buildings. That's what they're adding in. This game has been pretty awesome, and this is giving Wild Beast some time. He really just needs economy. Man, his TC's on 195 HP over here. Oh boy. Might be one situation where rats and archers can be quite strong. Because skirmishers are very vulnerable to things like light cav. There's a lot of pointy boys out. There's a lot of halbs for both teams, both players, I guess. And the rat tens are also mobile. Also, they have some pretty high pierce armor, so it's not as though skirms really counter them. So, I mean, they do, but not as well as some other things. So with bombard cannons and some rat tens, he might be okay. He will have to use the bombard cannons versus skirms and versus onagers. Arian says, finish to clear out some of his castles. Okay, so he's finished all of this eco. And he's now going for the castles. So they're slowly pushing in. It's just Gray's really putting up a fight here. By the way, T90, I meant to say that Gray was ugly. Not that he was not looking good. I think... So you're saying that he as a person is ugly? I guess that's what you would mean. Interesting. Well, maybe you felt like he was ugly because he was trying to kill you. If I killed 5,000 people and still survived to tell the tale like Gray has, I'd probably be ugly too. So. I'm seeing a lot of recommendations. A lot of recommendations for titles of the video. I think we have to wait to see how this finishes. Maybe it's unlikely, but maybe the Texans turn on each other. Wouldn't that be something? Because we're pretty much assuming they will be together forever right now. Sally says 4-hour ring armor. And Wild Bee says, even I haven't even made a single archer. Wow, I just snorted. That was weird. Sally says, I'm notorious for forgetting up. No! 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 God! The game crashed! No! Oh, God, that hurts so much. Alright, hold on. Maybe this is salvageable. Maybe this is salvageable. I'm gonna ask Sally if they can save. If they didn't crash, we can maybe restore it from where they're at right now. Oh, God. I think if they can save it, then we could do the restore. Either that, or they could send me the file after the fact. I could maybe cast that separately. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I think it's better, like, we're all in the zone right now. I'm in the zone right now. I think we should try and do it now. Let me message all the players because I'm not getting responses. Okay, I think they're going... Sally's just returned. Wild Beast has just returned to the game room. They're going to try and restore this, guys. Yeah, Mac Mouse, I see you're still spectating, but you're going to have to come back. Because we can't start. Okay, cool, you came back, thanks. Woo, boy. All right. So there's hope, guys. There is hope. Crazy game, huh? Crazy game. Let me make sure they actually saved. Alright, Infoboat, are you around, Ben? You're actually still in the game. You are, of course, dead. So if you could return, we can use this game room, make it easy peasy. Otherwise, we can hop in another game room. Alright, cool. Thank you. So I'm just organizing this behind the scenes, guys. Just hold tight. It's possible the restore won't work, so I'm not getting my hopes up yet. But I'm 50-50 right now. You never know. T90 Official, you changed to Fridays, but don't worry, I was able to make it here today. Nice. Hey, Snow Sean. This would be one of the most disappointing drops ever if it does not restore. But hey, you know, if in the event that this does get restored, YouTube gets a little bit of a peek of what the live stream looks like, I think. They probably don't see these overlays too often. So you can get your hi moms and hi YouTubes going a while, I guess. Arion messaged and said, I'm starting to get exhausted. Hopefully we finish it soon. I hope it has not been boring. I tried to hype the game. You did a great job at that, Arion. He did a fantastic job with that. If this game didn't have the chat from Infoboat, Arion, and Sally, this game would have been awful. But I think because of the chat, it was great. It's fantastic, actually. T90, why don't you just edit it out of the YouTube video? Well, I don't like to ruin the feel sometimes. It shouldn't take too long. Also, the bigger reason is because I'd have to download it all, then clip it all, then render it all. It'd slightly worsen the quality, and that'd take a lot of my time. And if they do get into the game here in a minute, I don't think it'll be a huge issue. Oh, it says the game has been started. Please work. Yeah, baby! We're back! We're back, baby! Nice try, technology. Nice try, Satan. You're not going to keep us from finishing this game. We are back. All right. So, Sally is going with his Ratons, but he really can't be fighting this many skirms. I said a moment ago that Ratons are decent against them, but I think he needs a bigger ball of flight cav, and he arrives. And he arrives. Now, this is good. This is good. And meanwhile, Arion, he says he has 0 gold. Yeah, he just lost a trebuchet. He's at least being a pest, you know. I think they just need to continue this. There's some holes here. Just run in and use your light cav to kill some gold workshops. He, of course, does not know what's there. And Sally's saying, go
This
here,
is
I have
great
siege.
Practice for the 13-hour game cast.
Yeah, the goal, it is great practice for the 13-hour game cast. It is. Giving time to Wild Beast to possibly plot a betrayal, or what you could even call revenge against Arion. Where's Arion's king at? Arion's king is hidden in the castle way out on the left-hand side. Look at Sally if you're curious. And Sally's king is in the south, but I don't think that Wild Beast will have anything to do against him. Thank you for 11 months, Dagul. Looking forward to seeing you with that gold badge, dude. Kawoo says, holy crap, I've been gone for a while and come back to the same game. Yes, and it's been great. It's been great. I'd recommend going back and looking at some of the diplomacy action. If you remember all the Legends of Texas action, there's been some similar stuff here between Sally, Arion, Infoboat, of course. Arion says, nice in all caps. He sees the gold workshops. This is what I'm talking about. Just kill him. It'll take some time, but just kill him. And the king is here for Gray. So Gray had the chance. Gray had the chance. But he decided to then attack Blue. He failed with killing Blue. And the Legends of Texas, Sally and Arion, hung on somehow this game. And they're probably going to claim another victim. Just insane. They killed Infobolt, who let them live. But Infobolt was one of the strongest, and now Gray is certainly one of the strongest. And guys, I don't want to get too feelsy, because you guys didn't come here for a feels train. But this just shows you what you can do with love. Wild Beast, he's only alive because of love. Ariane and Sally, they're here today, and they're going to win this brutal war because of love. I don't know if they're going to win exactly yet, but the plan, as far as I know, is to kill Gray, and then to go for some type of trebuchet nonsense in the center. Ariane says, I have a question. Who killed Shulker and Kumar? Green killed Kumar, and Shulker was killed by Gray, correct? T90 official, why aren't they all Slavs? I thought this was a communist thing. Well, you have Slavs, Vietnamese, Koreans. There were quite a few options that they could pick. Guys, single queue is not on. Fail. That's quite a thing to... Oh, wait, with the restore. With the restore, they changed how to... Oh my god, Gray is seriously not finished? Gray says, Blue, if you want to make a chance to win, we should team up. Well, this is probably the wrong time for you to be saying that. Wild Beast... No, Wild Beast is allying him? What? Wild Beast is allying him. Blue is going to the dark side. This is the only chance for Wild Beast. If he wants to become a legend, if he wants to win this game, he needs Gray. And Gray's king has escaped. And Gray says, now it's 2v2.
Te amo T90.
What is this game, man? You know, the king's still alive for Gray, but what's not going to be alive is his workshops. And so, once he loses this, I mean, he's already pretty far behind Sally. I think Sally has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he has a huge advantage with that. Gray was trying to reboom over here, and Ariane found it and killed his Vils. But, you know, maybe Ariane won't spot this, and maybe he won't spot Blue sitting right next to him and not attacking. Open a wall to his workshop. Yeah, well, he don't need to open the wall, you can just kill the workshop. And Sally says, why not just raise that? Alright. This is great. Maybe Wild Beast just allies to not risk dying? Possibly, but I don't see what his end game is here. You know, like, it would be much easier for Blue to simply say that he's doing that, right, Drunk Goat? If he wants to stay on the Texas team, he could say, like, listen, I allied Gray, he's sitting right here, you should come kill him, and then I'll turn when you arrive. But he's not doing that. In fact, he could probably clean that up right there. But, you know, I don't see this going well for Blue now. Blue would have at least had a nice little plot of land to set his grave in right next to the Texas players when this game ends. But now he's gonna get an arrow to the face. Because if they see this, they are not gonna be happy about it. Because remember, they could have killed Blue, they let Blue live, and now Blue, he's taking advantage of that situation. Now, Ariane does not have a lot of gold, this is true. Sally does. Sally has more gold than anyone. And yes, that's what I was about to get to. Ariane wants treason. And, okay, so Sally researches treason. He signals that the king is here for Gray, which is really interesting to me because he doesn't have resources to make any defense there. And here comes the light cav from Ariane. Ariane could maybe get a snipe. So I think Gray's dead. Yeah, he is dead. He doesn't have a lot of wood. He can't make units without wood. He can make hussars, but that's not going to do it. So Gray's dead. It's just a matter of if Blue will be dead then, right? Wild Beast is getting Paladin? My eyes deceiving me? He's getting Paladin? That's expensive, man, but that's something you get when you want to win the game. I can't really say that Wild Beast is making a misplay. I'm just pointing out that it's going to be tough for him to win either way. Okay. So, oh, there goes the king. Do they see that? The king's running. Sally gets treason. He signals. Purple can possibly see that. Yeah, he spotted it. Now, are there any rats and archers to come in and get the kill? I don't think so. But the king's going to take the units right to where Gray is. So the king's on the move. Wild Beast is making petards. Alright, more treason's coming in. And Arion says the king is running to you, Blue. Blue, what's your story gonna be here, bud? What's your story gonna be? Because you're not attacking Gray, and his king is right there. You know Arion's not gonna be happy. Oh! Oh! The Rat Sons are here, and Arion realizes Gray's dead anyway. See, this is just the worst possible scenario for Blue, man. Like, Gray dies, and now they realize that Blue is teamed up with Gray, and Sally says, matters not. And so I imagine Blue's next. Like, Blue is not going to be in this little get-together anymore. I think the move that Gray made was smart to save himself, but he should have made it much earlier. Like, he could have tried to make that... I guess it's complex, because Blue wouldn't have allied him when Infoboat was alive, so maybe he couldn't have made an alliance then. And Arion is asking the man. He says, Blue, did you ally Gray? I'm not pleased about that. Man, if Blue would have thought about it, he could have instantly set Gray to enemy. Just start attacking the stable, you know? I think Arion wants to go to bed, but I also think that he's a man who fights for honor. Oh, but he says, but I will still hold up to my promise. Wow. So he's still gonna let Blue live. So let's make an arena. Wow. So I don't know what Blue is definitely not AFK. Someone said he's AFK. He has petards, guys. Blue's he's just keeping his mouth shut because he figured, oh boy. Oh boy. What are you doing, Wild Beast? I don't think you can put petards in there, can you? I don't think you can put petards in there. Oh, nice try. Yeah, he's alive here. He's kicking. Wait. Oh, Arion says, but I will still hold my promise, so let's make an arena. So what do you say, Blue? Want to try to beat us? And Wild Beast says no. And Sally says, well, I take this as a declaration of war. Well, hold up. I think he said he doesn't want to try and fight you. And Arion's like, wait, what did he do? Sally, I think when he said no, that means he doesn't want to try and fight you. That's a good thing. Oh, there's confusion. They're tired. There's a lot of... Yeah, Sally, he said... He was asked if he wanted to fight you guys. And he said no, as in, he does not want to fight you. Which might be a lie, but that's what he said. And Sally says he meant the arena. You know, this is a problem we have in 2018. It's not about the words, it's about motives now. People are assuming motives. People are assuming motives too often. You gotta look at what people say. Well, where's this arena at? Yeah, this is where the arena is gonna be, I guess. Lorik donated $2. He said, hi T90, I'm sorry for watching for free for so long. You deserve all the support out there. Keep doing a great job in AoE, man. Here's my week's salary. Lorik, I hope that's not your week's salary, man. Please don't feel obligated to contribute or get involved if you're unable to. But I do appreciate the dono, man. And thank you for the kind words. I also know you've been around a long time, so it's good to see you still around. Okay, so purple's just passing here. Oh, if he sees the petards, blue is dead. If he sees the petards, blue is dead. He's allied with blue, but he's scouting and he sees petards. You know Arion's gonna say something. He signals it. Says, what is this? They're doing a little dance. I think we're gonna have another finale with Arion and Sally. I mean, that's really the only way that it can go. Sally says, what do you mean? Keep in mind, in this game, allies, you cannot get cartography, right? And Arion says he has petards and calves. Sally says he had petards before. Arion says true. But he doesn't talk to me much. This is true. I think blue should be talking more if he wants to keep himself alive. Problem is, if he responds quickly, then he has to respond to their agreement quickly and get the king in the center quickly. And Sally and Arion are saying they have a hard time trusting him. There's no cartos, so someone could sneak to the arena and kill all the kings. Yeah, true. Wild Beast says it's hard to play and talk. Dude, you gotta come up with a better argument than that. I have farms to seed and petards to build. Yeah, but why are you building petards? That's not good. Don't say you're making petards. Say, if anything, petards to delete, because you don't want war. You have to act like you don't want war. And Sally says, so should we do the Treb way? Wild Beast says, sure. As Paladin research is coming in. Possibly the latest Paladin research you will ever see in Age of Empires 2. 4 hours, 38 minutes, 37 seconds. Sally, you didn't promise to not attack him, right? Man, this Arion guy, he's so stuck on the promise from Infoboat. He's so stuck on the promise. He never goes back on his word. Like, I keep forgetting about the promise. Sally says, I will not attack him after agreeing to the arena. And Blue says, is it worth getting Paladin when I have 0 gold? Oh well. What can I say? Sally and Arion, they're fighters, man, but they have morals. Alright, so if we could just clean up some of this stuff here, make it look good for the YouTube thumbnail, please. How about we delete some of these towers and outposts and palisades and that mining camp. Get that out of here. Let's clean it nice, clean it up for that YouTube thumbnail. Might need to message them. Delete your shit. No, I'm kidding. I didn't say that. Sally says, so this is how this will go. Get 2 Trebs and the king here. One a signal, we will unpack and shoot each other's kings. Wild Beast says, I don't have 2 Trebs. Yeah, but you have 600 gold and 25,000 wood. Wild Beast, I was rooting for you, brother. But the last 10-15 minutes made it real difficult. Yeah, the spoiler for the end of a 5-hour game. Nice. Dude, I don't think you know how YouTube works. The more spoils on YouTube titles, like half spoilers, gets more views for whatever reason. But no, I would never do that. I think for the Legend of Texas, it was good with the minimap. This will be a minimap one as well. Like, with considering this is like Commie Nothing or Commie Game, then I'd have the map. Is Blue making Trebs? I just want you to... Okay, there we go. At this point, Arion and Sally have been extremely patient with Wild Beast. So, he's making the Trebs and he's sending them to the center, which is good. There's definitely... You can go too far with it, I think. And I'm not even talking game time. I'm saying... You know, they gave him the benefit of the doubt. They even saw the petards. They didn't go after him. Yeah, here comes Sally checking this out, and he sees the petards moving. Wild Beast. Oh! Wild Beast changed him to neutral and killed the Rattan Archer, and then changed him back to ally? What? Sally says, what was that? And Wild Beast is honest. He says, I petarded an archer. Hope T90 saw it. I don't miss anything. Actually, I missed a lot, but I saw that one. That was an interesting move. And Ariane says, K, Sally, please kill him. So Ariane won't kill him because he made the promise. Sally did not make the promise. And Sally's like, listen, he agreed to the center, so I don't want to be a jerk and kill him. But there, the Rattan Archer just died. So this would maybe be a time for Sally to make the kill. Wild Beast is sending the Trebs forward too. See, this is... Oh man, this is kind of brilliant in a way. If he sends the Trebs forward, they're not allied. There's no Kartos, so even if they're allied, they can't see where his kings are. So he could say he's sending his king to the middle, and he could go in and snipe with the paladins. Sai, if I do it, no one will blame you, but Sally doesn't know because he's not listening. Make a move, gents. Make a move. Okay, they can see his Treb there. So Sally, where's his king? His king is... Oh, it's in the tower. Wild Beast says, move away your armies, which is a valid... That's a good point. Ariane says, no, I don't trust you. Good God. Oh, this has been a great show. But definitely might be getting to the point where the creators of the show are just adding extra seasons because they know the previous seasons were popular, and they're just trying to milk people for money. They're trying. I won't make show comparison because I'll alienate some fans. But I have given you every reason to trust me. Proof is, you are still in this game right now. You attacked me with scouts 4 hours ago. 4 hours ago, Wild Beast. 4 hours ago. Else, you would be destroyed, and I would be watching the stream while eating my cookies. He's like, let's be honest. You are still in this game. Otherwise, if you were dead, I would be eating my cookies. And I've been waiting to eat my cookies for a long time, okay? They're sitting right next to me, man. I tried to eat one while I was playing. I got crumbs in my keyboard. I can't use my TC hotkey. Can't use my market hotkey, but fortunately we can't build markets, so it's fine. He didn't say all that. I added that. But it makes it more juicy. This will be over soon if you just let him get his way. Blue says, I don't think I can win anyway, so might as well trust. Okay. That's the logic that I've been riding on for a while. Let's see what Blue does with his king. Oh, this is great. This is great. He's finally doing it, guys. The end is near. The end is near. He's not moving with his army, I don't think. I don't know where his petards are, but his paladins aren't moving, so... Oh! Oh, shit! Okay, Houston, we have a problem. What are you doing with these? He is sitting them next to the army of Ariane. Ariane would not move his. So he's like, okay, I'm not going to move mine. Alright, so that's one out of 3. Okay, 1 out of 3. King is in the center. Let's do something fun. Lock your gate, Sally. Sally says, and? The gates are locked. Oh my God! He's doing it! This is hilarious! This is hilarious! The petards are gonna be killed so the king can't escape! And the Trebs are now gonna try and shoot him!
Please name the YouTube video something with my cookies, KTHX.
Top 10 anime betrayals. Top 10 anime betrayals. This king cannot escape. This king cannot escape. All the gates are locked. Wait. Wait. But Sally is a man of his word. And Sally is attacking his brother. What? Wild Beast is defeated by the Trebs, but guys, they're not gonna ride this one out into the sunset. I don't think so. Okay, so Sally allies him. He's like, dude, that wasn't cool. And Ariane says, that felt good. He made me waste 30 minutes of my life, and I had fun. Alright, so they're back to being friends. I was freaking out. I thought, like, Sally had this whole master plan to attack Ariane. I guess they're friends again. Sally says, it's alright. You do you, honey. Aw, so cute. So cute. So what are you guys gonna do? Just make sure there are some kids watching. Make sure it's appropriate, okay? Don't make it too sappy. King is here for Sally. Sally says, let's end this our trademark way. King is here for Ariane. He's on his way in. And I think they'll do the same thing that they did. The way that they trademarked themselves in the Legends of Texas game. Ariane says, to be honest, you deserve the win. And Sally says, I couldn't do it without you. Oh, God. It's so sweet. So sweet. You know, when I lose my voice someday, when I can no longer commentate Age of Empires games, I'm going to write books. Or something. I mean, I don't even know if books will exist at that time. But let's say books still exist. I'm going to write a story about these two. And yes, Ariane is cleaning this up. The symmetry of this is kind of bothering me, but this is doable. Also, Blue, if you happen to read this, he can't see me now. I'm truly sorry. Ariane says, okay, Twitch chat. Press 1 for me, 2 for Sally. They love rewatching this stuff. Okay, guys. Press 1 for Ariane, 2 for Sally. That's a lot of numbers. Hard to track. We do not have a poll running right now. This is just a popularity contest. Ariane has... It's happening. It's happening. We have it. The finishing blow here. Both the Robin Hoods, both the kings in the center. Oh, never mind. Hold on. That was a false alarm. This countdown is... We really need a moderator here for this countdown. Alright, here we go! They need to dodge. Whoa! Good thing you can't kill your own king. They both would have died there. Wow, that was so close! This is crazy! Ariane almost lost his king. Ah! Sally was close. Oh, we got the pump fake from Sally trying to distract his, or trick his opponent. And so far, the tread percentage is pretty bad for both players this season. They really need to work on that and practice. Oh, God, almost a friendly fire. Was it Sally that lost in the first one? I forget. I think Sally lost in the first one, right? I forget. But whoever lost, they lost in the second volley. So, whoever it is, they learned their lessons. Oh, God. I mean, you have to go for... Oh! You have to go for attack grounds, I think. And you just have to hope they use one to attack them and use the other with an attack ground and hope they run into it. Like, that was really close. Oof. Alright. So when do we get bombard cannons? That's what I want to know. Neither player can just start typing that they want to switch it up because they might lose their king.
Such a beautiful ending.
Oh! That was so close, man. It's really hard to judge where it's going when coming from this side. Here it's easier to tell, but there I can barely tell. You see that? So I would say that Arion has rigged it in his favor. Well, Sally's getting really close to losing his king. Oh, okay. Sally's also switching up his strategy, I think. Yeah, that one is an attack ground right there. So I think you have one Treb auto-attacking that king at all times, and the other one goes for an attack ground. Are you kidding me? That king has steel toes. He's wearing steel-toed boots. Don't ask me how he can run so fast with steel-toed boots on. And this little umbrella. It's gonna happen, guys. It's gonna happen. I mean, they're waiting for the 5-hour mark. They'll just complete it if it's right on the dot at 5 hours. It won't happen there. It will. Oh! Won't happen there. That was close. There. You know, I'm running out of things to say. Hold on. I got some more things I can bring up. You know, this woman here, she's overseeing this whole process, and what she's doing is she's waiting to decide on who she will marry. So this is the old Vietnamese ritual that these guys are performing in this Age of Empires 2 game. And both of these guys would like to marry this woman. She doesn't really like them. She thinks they smell and are fat, but not her decision. These are commie games. So, oh wow, she seems to have chosen a side here. She's choosing. Oh my goodness, she's attacking the arena. This is distracting the players. The distraction almost worked. Perhaps some bias from the bride-to-be. Okay, that's all I got. What else we got? Oh, there's another villager. She might... Oh, yeah, maybe she wasn't... Maybe the kings felt like she wasn't worthy of them, so she's gonna join in. Holden, hole, yeah? What do you have to say about this? We're going into round 3. He didn't say anything. Hold on. Yeah, I agree. It's been a tightly fought battle, sir. What about you? Yep, I agree. Alright, guys. You know, I've really tried for about 10-15 minutes game time, but can we make the arena smaller, please? I guess, in the grand scheme of things, this is really short. Because this whole game has been 5 hours. Ugh! That scares me. And they packed up their trebs at the same time. Add a layer of wall. Okay. This game has been super good, man. This is so unique. Alright, so add a layer of wall. You gotta open up the gate. Alright. I think we could do this. If I were to make a competition like this, which I never will, I think the fairest way would be to add one side, right? One side, do 10 volleys, stop. One more, do more volleys. Betray him and kill the king. Oh man, they've been through too much. Also, if you were to try and wall in Arion and use his vills to attack there, it wouldn't really work. Yeah, see, this looks better. Delete the purple walls. Make it all orange walls. Make it look good. Alright, on 30. Maybe he meant 5 hours, 5 minutes, and 30 seconds. Oh! I think this is against the rules. They both attacked each other's trebs. I think there's a 5-yard penalty for the orange team. They should also regulate the distance. So they're similar distances to the center, but the closer you are, the more of a shot you have. They're not doing this intentionally. Obviously, these units auto-attack. Move! Oh, you could try and block with this. Because you don't have to worry about your own treb shots. You can try and block your opponent in. Like, especially if they run into the corner, you could just run back and forth in front of them and keep them pinned in there. Easier said than done, of course. Yeah, I think they're trying for it. Ooh, boy. But then the risk is you'll be standing in the same spot as you try and block, and the block attempt comes in. Block attempt was unsuccessful, and the dodge was real. Okay, so we're about 6 volleys in. They might add another layer of wall after about 317 more volleys. Come on, I want to see a block. Arion's trying for it. Block him, block him, block him. Ooh. Oh! He got him! He got him! Arion says, GG, I love you. And Sally says, thanks, me too? Thanks, me too? That's not a great response when someone says, when you say I love you to someone, you do not want them to say thanks, me too. You want them to say, I love you too, babe. So Sally, perhaps questioning the relationship, he says, thanks, me too. I still don't agree with Blue though, but you do you. And Ariane says, I feel bad about that, but technically I didn't attack him. I just told my Trebs to attack the ground. Oh my god. It's true. It's true. Like, he didn't attack ground, so he didn't actually attack Blue, and he was then true to his word, right? Sally says that's one way of putting it. It was good though. Yeah. I hope Twitch chat loved that. Well, Twitch chat, let them know if you loved it. I know it was a long game, but I never, ever expected Sally and Ariane to get here again. I thought for sure they were dead. There are long games that drag on. This one, it drug on a little bit, but if you saw the whole thing, I think you don't regret it now. That was crazy. And Sally says they think they do. Hearing T90. Yep. Probably opened up the stream. Woo! Alright. Let's go to the achieves. Wasted talent with 4,700 units killed. 4,000 units lost. He honestly just didn't do very well with the diplomacy here. I think if he would have had Shulker as an ally, then possibly things would have been different for him, right? Hard to say, of course. The game is too complicated. Food collected. Sally had 2,000 food collected. 137,000 wood collected for Sally. Infoboat had more stone. He had a lot more stone and he had a lot more gold. Unfortunately, the gold was not enough for him. He should have, Infoboat, in hindsight, should have killed Ariane and Sally, right? Remember, he let them live, and you can't let those two live. They will always rise above it. What's the title of this video? Well, you guys can give ideas. You guys can give ideas. Wild Beast just said, at Ariane, you're a dirty liar. I think you both lied at one point. Please, I'm hoping you're kidding. Please don't take it too seriously. The games are great. Digital said, I paid for the title. You did. $6. Can anyone outbid him? Because he said he wants the YouTube video to be named My Cookies. If this becomes a bidding war, I might put some money up myself. Legends of Comrade Wild Beast. Battle for Motherland. Legends of Texas. 5.1 hours of my life that I will never get back. Texas beats communism. See, it can't be too spoilery, but I can't spoil too much, but just ideas. There's the total castles, only 25 castles for Gray. No wonder it was hard to kill that guy. And there's the timeline. Wow. All right, so it's kind of blown up on my stream so you guys can see it. For me, it's small, so I'm actually going to look in the other monitor as we walk our way through this. Look at Wild Beast. This was just a little bit of hope, a slimmer of hope, and he was able to turn that into 3rd place.
I declare bankruptcy!
The leg ends of wild beast.
Leg ends of wild beast. Now, leg ends could have a double meaning, Shifty Bloke, because there were a lot of dead wild beast bodies in this game. So there were leg ends. Was that too gross? Maybe it was. So Shulker, like, obviously he died very early. Kumar died very early. Blue took the same path, but he believed in himself and he got back into it. Ariane and Sally, as you can see, very dominant there. Infoboat, very dominant there for a long period of time. All right. Well, it doesn't need to be pointed out at this point, but YouTube, if you're watching this whole thing, first of all, I commend you. Hope you enjoyed. Second of all, if you'd like to join in on the Twitch stream at some point, I have the Twitch links below in the video description. I stream Age of Empires 5 days a week. We do community games, expert games, classic games, and a lot of the stuff you see on YouTube does come from the live stream. So if you want to stop by, like a lot of the people did here today, then you can click those links. And as always, I'm going to let people like Alian there and whoever wants say hello to their future selves, their mothers, their whoever. Whoever you guys are saying hello to. It was Commie Nothing. Maybe you're saying hello to Putin. Putin, if you watch my videos, please don't be offended by anything I said.
T90 love.
Okay, we're cool, man. We're cool. Don't hurt me.